Hello there, everybody, and welcome to Roll with Advantage. It is great to be here. Welcome to the next session of the Salamander Coast. We've been taking a little bit of a break, but I believe that Salamander Coast should be pretty consistent from this point on. Luckily, the Tuesday session misses out on the holiday travel season, so we should be good to go. Very excited for tonight's session. Very excited to continue playing. This week, sadly, Cameron/Suni will not be with us just because he is going into tech for his show, Little Shop of Horrors. So send good vibes and well wishes his way. Lord knows with that show he needs it. It's I hope that everything's going well for him, and I hope your show goes well, Cameron. All right. So with that, let's go ahead and roll the intro and dive into the session. We're back.
I was always like,
no, but it's his favorite song.
We're back. If you want to know what music John is listening to during the sessions, make sure to join our Discord server so you can see.
Lori Berkner.
You spoiled it. Also, the
She's the goat.
stream bot isn't working. Cloud bot isn't working. That's so sad. Anyway, I'll fix that later in a second. Let's go ahead and dive into tonight's session. So, picking up where we left. Wait, no, that's not what we do here. So what we do as a tradition here on Roll with Advantage, I do not do the summary. I have my players do the summary. So this week on summary is Felicity. Oh man,
Yay.
2 sessions in a row.
I know.
Summary, that's crazy.
Just can't get enough of my summaries. Okay.
Love it. All right, take it away.
All right. Last session. In the morning, everyone gets up and we all awkwardly begin our day. Ajax goes to the Basilisk to talk about a continued alliance. Carousel and Bianca reach out to the Brotherhood and Typho for assistance in the upcoming siege. Cecily and Suni go to the Arboreal Exiles to handle the situation in city of... Ooh, it starts with a V, right? I wrote this down. I put city. You will put this here. The city.
Is it in the master doc?
It might be. I closed out of the master doc.
Then, so it doesn't have any other people's names in there.
Oh my god. Okay, anyway,
Vesna.
so the city that we'll talk about
Vesna,
relatively
Vesna.
soon. That's not, I just start with a V. Haha. They agree.
It's literally on the screen in front of you.
Is it? Oh my god. I
the
don't
map
have my
right there.
notes. Oh my god. Well, if you guys want to see more of these kinds of summaries, watch Isles on Saturday. Anyway, so Vesna. So they're going to go handle the situation in Vesna. They agree, but we need to have oh my god. I didn't even put this in here. I started going rogue. Okay. God. We need Victor. So Cecily goes to talk to Victor to get them to join the Arboreal Exiles. To go to Vesna and handle the situation about the famine. He agrees, but he wants to be named, titled officially Master of Coin, which Bianca does, so. And Caracilla goes to talk to the Goliaths and eventually faces Draven Hunt, who had lost his memory and everything. If you didn't know, you should have been watching Isles, so get up on that. But anyway, he's confused and heartbroken, and Carousel is confused and heartbroken and angry, and it's just a sad, tough experience for them both. After she leaves him, Emerald, being all sinister and... Oh, Emerald, the sus one, not Emerald, the good one, stuck in the Astral Sea. So he comes all up to Carousel and is like, I have something to tell you, and he whispers something in her ear that we don't know, and then just, poof, gone. So Carousel is like, shit, gotta deal with that. Okay, goes home. But before we leave for the dwarves, Kavtar, I have that down now, Suni and Bianca go to kind of talk to their loved ones that have passed on, Bianca's mom, and Suni communes with Keothi. It's a bit more emotional. And then we also learn from, I wrote down his name, Vander, that the dwarves and the Asari used to be kind of on good terms, but now they have issues, so that's tea. We're going to find out about that. So, he takes us into the tunnel. Right before that, Carousel tries to tell Bianca about what Emerald told her. She can't remember. Like, it's forcibly forgot. Walks away from Bianca, remembers. Sus. Still sus. So we go into the tunnel. Super spooky. There's many things down there that we can't steal, so that's a problem for Suni. It's all good gold and shiny things. So we keep walking, and then the sun must have gone out from above ground because these terrible eyeball creatures and and things that kind of look like Suni a little bit. Yeah. So kind of maybe from the creator, all sus, attack us. Once we get out of that situation, we hear more coming. So we go above ground to wait out until the sun comes back. However, we get up there, and an even worse problem, we should have just stayed down there and died, because now we got Thor up there, and Thor sees Ajax. We try to sneak away. Carousel and Bianca are noisy bitches, can't help themselves. Apparently, Baldur can shapeshift and turn into Morwen. Carousel is spooked by that. Thor kills Ajax, and now we're here.
Whoa.
Thor knocks Ajax unconscious.
Yeah, Ajax is alive currently.
I said the summary.
As long as someone
I'm
uses
only
healing word on
reporting the
Ajax,
news,
we're good.
okay?
Well, if
Ajax
anything,
is
I guess that
fucking
means
dead. If only
Ajax
anyone
is
could
dead
do
now.
anything about it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Look, I just report what I see, okay?
Well, yeah, Bianca would know that Caracilla doesn't have healing word prepared, so Ajax might as
Oh my
well be
God.
dead.
Oh my God.
Hayuck.
No longer gonna heal him.
Hayuck.
You're on your own there, bud.
Hayuck.
Shouldn't talk shit. Talk
Okay.
shit, get hit.
All right.
Oh my
with that,
God.
we'll go ahead and dive back in. So, picking up right where we had left off, play track. Picking up right where we had left off, Ajax having been grand slammed into the ground by Thor and Mjolnir. After Ajax was knocked unconscious, just lying there, just sort of writhing in pain, unable to get up, unable to perceive the world around him, Thor bends over and pries the sword of Ajax from his slowly weakening hands. As he pries it out of his fingertips, Thor slams it up against the stone wall next to him and slams Mjolnir into Ajax's greatsword, sending it into thousands of shards, leaving nothing but the tip of the blade and the hilt of the sword, the only two pieces remaining in pieces at all. Okay. Shut the fuck up. How about that, huh? Yeah, bitch.
I'm back.
Now he's definitely dying.
Yeah.
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 I'm trying everything I possibly can to get this man's dead.
So with that, he drops the hilt to the ground, Mjolnir in his hand. He turns to the rest of the party. And with that, I would like all of you to roll for initiative.
I got you, Joe. Don't worry.
That's a D20, right?
I know it's been a minute. Yeah. It's been a
Yeah,
minute.
sorry.
Why is Cecily
I did a
blinded?
bit. Oh, please don't. That didn't happen.
No, it didn't. It's very strange. Oh, I think it's because she's on another battle map where she is.
Okay.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah, she don't have dark
Can't see.
vision.
Yeah, Suni's also blinded.
Ooh,
That's funny.
She ain't blind, but she fucking slow.
Okay. Last breath.
Big shock.
Baldur. Did I put Thor? No, I didn't. Okay.
My lighting is annoying the shit out of me right now. Can't see my left eye.
Okay, and then I will roll for Suni as well. Suni got 12. Bianca?
15.
15. Ajax?
Oh, I'm actually doing that. I rolled for funsies 6.
Okay. Beautiful. Carousel?
16.
Oh. Cecily?
6.
Woo. Woo.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Initiative, bros.
I'm as fast as an unconscious man.
Unconscious
Hell
lion.
yeah. You're right. That's even worse. Thank you.
Ooh, where's the battle map?
Oh,
Missile
shit.
front? Oh,
My bad. I forgot to activate it.
there it is. There's
Okay.
big boy Thor.
There you go.
He is a 4-tile character there.
Was that
Big.
huge?
Big boy.
Wait, is that huge? No, it's large.
Large, yeah. Large and huge both take up 4. Okay. Let's do this. That's not what I wanted. Sorry, I need to pull up the right thing here.
Wait, Thor's
Whoa.
first? That's what we like
Oh
to
my
see,
God.
dude.
Oh.
Sorry.
So
I
he
need to-
said, "Who's next?" And then he's gonna be like, "I grow impatient."
Successfully forward.
Immediately.
Successfully forward.
You know what? I'll pick.
Oh god.
Here we go. This is what I
I
needed
don't know
right
if that
here.
makes things worse or better.
All right.
You
Boom.
stab down the Ajax. Get those death saves
Okay.
going.
So with that, you can see Thor as all of you sort of like tripping up, not knowing what to do, just looking at Ajax's like writhing in pain body. You can just see Thor as Mjolnir in his hand, ready for one of you to charge at him. But you can see that he just kind of stops and he smiles and he says,
What are we? Too afraid to make a move? Come on. You killed my sons. Show me what you've got.
and he's just going to take a few steps forward and he's going to hold his action for something. And that's the end of his turn. All right. Then it's Balder, who's currently disguised as Morwen. So
Love it.
you can see Balder for a moment. He's thinking. He sort of looks around, and he leans over to you, Bianca, and he says, "I promise, I'll be right back. I have an idea." And
What?
he's going to run 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30.
Can I
35.
insight
This
that
40.
I'll be right back?
What do you mean? It's a good idea.
This man said, "Look, that's Thor, guys. I'll see you later."
I was like,
And then he's going to make a stealth check over here. That is a 27. Okay. All right. So flings up against the wall, and he's just going to stay there for a moment. That was his action to hide. Oh, wait a second.
Guys, Chuck C around.
Wait. Why is this not a thing? Huh? Okay, whatever. All right, I'll figure that out in a second. All right, so he's going to stay right there for that current time period. With that, Carasilla, it's your turn.
Okay, I realize I can't get to Ajax, so I'm gonna straight up go through him, and obviously he's preparing to do something, and also just opportunity attacks will definitely just kill me outright. And so, in hopes that it's able to do something, yeah, sorry, just reading real quick. I'm going to regret my life and cast Psychic Lance at him. Needing a DC 16 intelligence save.
Thank God.
Okay.
Sorry,
All right,
I don't know what words are. I'm panicking.
I just needed to change out his token real quick.
And
So you should
I'm not
have
looking for
18.
damage. I'm looking for him to fail that, so he's then incapacitated. It's a good thing, because I rolled shit damage anyway.
Okay, DC 16 intelligence saving throw.
Oh, actually, first, yeah, I don't know. Can I just antibiotic him first?
Yeah, sure.
So take away a D10 from whatever he rolls on that save.
Roll the d10. Okay, so he rolled a let's see, that is an 18 plus 1, 19. Roll your d10. Not a smart man.
Okay, I don't find my thing. Okay. What did he roll?
An
19
18
minus
plus
5.
1, 19. So
Yeah,
yeah,
okay.
14, so he fails.
Oh, okay. Glad I remembered I could do that. So yes, he takes that full damage, but he's also incapacitated. And so...
So he cannot take his held action. You can see him just kind of freeze, unable to swing his hammer. Ooh, good call.
Am I able to just move directly past him here? Or do I
Yeah.
run around? That would be annoying.
No, he's big enough. You can run past him. It's
Yeah.
just that you can see him just sort of like swipe towards you, but lazily, and his just giant, like fat arm just kind of smacks into you a bit, but doesn't do any damage.
Yeah, and I just want to get to Ajax currently. But that is all I can do.
So he is incapacitated until the start of your turn.
Shit. I think it's the start of my next turn, yeah.
Till the start of your next turn. Okay, so he is incapacitated for a full round. That's good. Okay,
Nice.
Bianca.
I don't think I got anything that useful in my repertoire. Okay. Well, he can't move. We're trying to survive. Trying to make sure that he doesn't... I'm just gonna step up next to Cecily and Suni, trying to hold his attention over on this side, and make sure that if he does somehow break out of that thing, he doesn't whip around to Caracilla and Ajax. So Bianca will start, and like, can I hold I think it's an action, or is it a bonus action? I think it's an action. I want to hold my Blood Curse of Binding so that if he breaks out, I can... Oh, it's a bonus action. Can you hold a bonus action?
You cannot, sadly.
Damn. Well. Oh man, that's a bonus action too. I have all these bonus actions I want to hold. Okay, can I just... Alright, I'll just hold his attention. She'll point the gun at him. Basically just kind of ready. I'm holding the action. I'm going to shoot him if he breaks out or tries to move. Or if anything happens, basically. And I just want to make sure that his attention's on Bianca and not anyone else. That's what I'll do. I ain't gonna fuck up with the good stuff that's going on right now, so...
Okay. Alrighty. Cool stuff. So holding his action in case he attacks you. Or anybody.
Or if he... anything. Just so that he sees a gun pointed at him if he moves.
Okay. Got it.
Don't move, basically.
Okay. Got it. Suni is going to go next, and he is seeing that Vondor is doing his best to fiddle with and crank this magical device. That way all of you can get away. Suni is going to interpose himself between Thor and Vondor, but as he's walking past Vondor, he, not knowing how hardy Vondor is, he is going to, seeing the type of damage Thor was doing, he's going to use a 3rd level spell slot to cast Protection from Energy on Vondor, and give Vondor resistance to thunder damage. Vondor nods at him, and with that, it is Vondor's turn, as Vondor continues to crank and wheel away at that device. You can see that it's only going to take one more round, so one more turn of his, until the portal opens and all of you can begin to leave. Okie dokie. So that's what he does on his turn. Ajax, I need you to make a death saving throw. Wait, make sure that when you do that you have blind GM roll turned on.
No,
Okay.
don't do that.
Well, I don't have Beyond 20 on. There we go. Okay. How the fuck do I do this? There we go. Did I do it?
Can you see it?
No. I clicked the button. And...
Okay, all right. I got one. Okay,
Okay.
all right, good to know.
Oh, I didn't even see it. Oh,
Yeah,
shit.
yeah, it's
Okay.
blind. Yeah, exactly.
Oh, fuck.
All right, so he either failed 2, failed 1, or succeeded 1, because he's not standing. He's not at 1 hit point. Cecily, it's your turn.
All right. Given recent events, I am gonna have her get right next to Vondor. And she is going to hold her action to cast Greater Invisibility. And can you include movement as part of a held action? I forget.
I'm gonna say, well, what do you want to do? Paint me a word picture.
In the event that Thor moves towards her, I would like to ready her action to cast Greater Invisibility and sprint in a random direction.
Okay, in a random direction, sure.
Yep.
We'll roll a d4 and that'll determine what the direction is.
I mean, all right, I've chosen my words. Preferably not one towards Thor, but you know,
Of course.
maybe that'll throw him off.
Yeah, I mean, you're invisible, so it's not like you know. That would be the last
Right.
thing you'd expect, too.
Right.
Immediately bonk into him.
Just like slide under his legs.
Tackle him.
Oh my
Oh,
god.
God.
See it coming.
Just jetpacking Thor. Just this tiny. All right.
That's
But
funny.
yeah.
Okay,
But
all right.
yeah, that's all I'm doing.
I will allow it. With that, it's Thor's turn, and he's incapacitated till the start of your next turn, Karasilla?
Yeah. So he can move, but he can't do jack shit otherwise.
Okay. Okay. Ooh. That's spicy.
Do a little jig.
Okay.
Yeah.
No!
Oh. Yeah.
And you can see he just
Don't
kind of
like that.
turns away from your pistol, Bianca, not concerned. And he just looms over Karasilla, who's like halfway down to grab Ajax or do something to him. And Thor, you can just see there is this just shield from the rain as all of the rain is pouring in the direction he's facing. So you can see, Karasilla, that as you look up, you are shielded from the rain as Thor, with Mjolnir in his hand, just looms over the two of you.
Have you ever seen the rain?
Karasilla, does the spell end if he's attacked?
No, it's just he's just incapacitated until it's my next turn. It's just
Well, he moved! I want to shoot him!
Which door? So don't worry.
I shoot! Unless people veto.
no.
Nah.
Shoot him.
I
Shoot the
shoot!
bastard. He's a big target. You can't miss.
I might! Don't say it! The 18, does that hit?
That just hits, actually.
Yay!
Do not doubt me
Thank
ever
you.
again.
Forgot the part
16
where
damage!
I think you forgot the part where the big target can move at like 120 feet a second. So,
On a board.
the master of Neum.
Yum yum.
Okay.
No.
So when you hold your action to attack, I'm pretty sure you get your whole, like, wait. Don't you get your whole attack action? So
Do
wouldn't
I?
Yeah, wouldn't Bianca
Yeah.
get 2 attacks? That's fun. Fuck it. Yeah, shoot him twice.
That is fun. I'm doing it. 2 attacks. Wahaha.
He's got 2 bullet holes in his tummy now. He's
Oh, 17.
Well,
Does that
that
just
one does not
miss?
hit. 18. What?
Okay.
18 is his AC. It's based all the way off his Constitution.
That's fine.
Really? No way.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
fine.
Really, the movement was irrelevant. You're right again, Gemma, as always.
Yep. All right.
Damn, I'm unbeatable.
With that, that's the end of his turn, and we come to Balder. Balder is going to run here, and then is going to jump up as Morwen, and is going to pretty much jump up and grab on to Thor's neck, and is going to try and, like, using momentum, just, like, pull him back down the side here. He's incapacitated. He still has all of his strength, so the two of them are going to make contested athletics checks. Okay. What's Thor's modifier?
0.
I agree. It's 0. If we have a vote.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's 18. Was really low. And then for Balder, what's Balder's modifier? Okay. All right. In a strange twist of fate, you can see as Balder jumps up, grabs onto Thor's neck, and just yanks and pulls, you can see that Thor ends up tumbling and falling down with Balder down this cliff face. As you can see, I'm going to go ahead and say that that's, we'll say 40 feet. So each one of the two of them take 4d6 damage. Wow. Okay, 14 points of damage for both of them. 14 minus 14. Knocked there. And that's all of Balder's movement. As we move to Carasilla's turn, the incapacitation stops on Thor. And I'm going to say both of them are prone as well. As they fall down the side there. Whoa. Big prone. There we go. Okay. So with that, Carasilla, it's your turn.
Okay, to hopefully help out if you're failing your death saves, I don't need a Dimension Doors out there anymore, so I'ma just Cure Wounds at 3rd level. And take, 14 heals, because I cannot roll, I apologize. But yes, so you're no longer unconscious. Ajax lives, I guess.
Damn.
I like how you waited to unmute before you snapped.
Yeah.
To find the buttons.
Oh.
Had it locked in.
Yep.
Okay, you got to cure wounds off. Cure wounds.
Thank you.
Uh,
I appreciate Carasilla.
can I see Boulder all the way down there? I guess I can just walk up to the ledge, yeah.
Yeah, you can see him. You can see he's like currently prying his way out from underneath Thor as Thor is kind of writhing and trying to get up ready as he's just been pulled down. And you can see as you look down, Balder as Morwen says, "Run!"
Okay.
Yeah, I agree.
But what I was going to do was, I'm going to give Boulder Bardic.
Bardic.
You know.
Bardic.
Bardic.
Bardic inspiration.
Because, you know, obviously she's so strong. It's good, you guys. And then is just going to, I guess, do like he was saying, and yeah, it's fun on other accounts. And get back to where the group is.
Okay. Okie dokie. Alrighty.
I imagine she'd help up Ajax, but I don't think she can help with the prone thing. But yeah.
Yeah, flavor-wise, we get there.
Flavor-wise, yeah.
Alrighty. With that, Carasilla, that's the end of your turn. Bianca, it's your turn now.
Yeah, I mean, good job, everyone. No, I asked you this. I don't think it would even matter, though, because I'd have to get over, well, hold on, 30 feet. Can I take anyone in my shadow slide?
I don't think so,
I asked
no.
you that last week. I don't think so either, but
Yeah.
I was hoping you changed your mind. I don't think there's much else I could really do. I guess the thing I'm going to do is just get over here. So still really close, and I am aiming so that if anyone comes, any Thor, not anyone, any Thor comes up the side, immediately shot. And that's my turn. I'm holding another action.
Immediately shut. Okay.
He immediately shits his pants.
That too.
I would if I saw Bianca aiming a gun at me.
Same. So
Okay.
That's my
Alright.
turn.
Cool. So then we go to Suni. Suni is going to run over to Ajax 20 feet. He is going to use 5 feet of movement to help Ajax up, so Ajax is no longer prone. So he was never marked prone. Then is going to use another 5 feet of movement just to drag Ajax a little way this way, and then he's going to use his bonus action. Oh, actually, you know what? He will burn the rest of his action to dash, and then we'll move 10, 20, 30 here. So kind of pulling you back, helping you as you're like just out of consciousness from having your world rocked a second ago. Getting you closer to the exit. Then he will, I don't believe he'll do anything else because Protection from energy is concentration. 4 foot of movement for every 1 foot of moves. Okay. And then what he is... Oh, wait a second. That's really large, actually. I don't think he's going to do that. 100 foot... Nope. Okay. All right, so that's going to be the end of his turn. All right. With that, we come to Vondor, and as Vondor eventually finishes at the end of his turn, you can see him, these magic runes begin to whir on his hands as he slams it down into the top of the machine and pushes down. You can see the door in front of you begin to open and shift as he channels the magic into the vise. And Cecily, right in front of you, you see the door split open and the stairs appear in front of you, directly leading to the underways. But sadly, that's at the end of his turn, so then Ajax, we come to your turn. The portal has opened up behind you. The underways is easy to access. It's right there for you. It's up to you what you want to do.
Okay, so first things first. Second wind. Need
Good
that. 1d10. Is this a d10? I forget what d10s look like. Are they the diamonds? Or the half diamonds?
They're the tops.
Yeah.
They look like a spinny top.
Well, that's fucking garbage. I got 5 total.
Oh.
Yeah. So, it's okay. Ajax is still writhing. He's just like, ugh. All right, that didn't work. So he's gonna look around. He's going to like make the motion to grab his sword. Realize, and go, shit. He's going to extend his claws because that's all he's got. And he's going to look back to everybody and like I'm gonna use my action to what is it? Fucking
Dodge?
what's the one to yes, that one. And use my action to dodge. I'm gonna look back at everyone and say, "Go now!" And he's gonna take a well, he's gonna move here. Right here. Maybe here. He'll move there.
Okay.
He's gonna wait for everyone to get out before he runs away. That's it. Dodge action. Oh wait, do I have a bonus action? Oh, rage.
Okay.
There you go.
All right, sounds good. Cecily, it's your turn. Door's open right in front of you.
It is. And all of my friends are in front of me and not in it yet, which presents a complication. I cannot heal them, and I cannot pick them up. But I think what she's gonna do will be slightly similar. Just because she really wants to not run away and then 10 seconds later find out that somebody didn't make it through. So she is going to cast well, actually, question. Am I able to deduce if the damage of Mjolnir is mostly physical or elemental?
It is mostly elemental.
Okay. Alright, fuck casting Blade Ward. We're not doing that. I think... Honestly, I think she is also... she is going to hold a spell. This time, though, instead of holding invisibility, I'm going to hold Bigsby's hand, because it has an ability called Interposing Hand, where I can put the big hand between myself and an enemy. So I'm hoping that if there's a moment where he comes rushing in, I can use that in some way. And other than that, she will just be readying that if he approaches her or the rest of the party. And then if not, next round, she'll just run right in. Or if somebody carries her in, whatever. But yeah, that's what I'm gonna do.
Okay. Okie dokie, sounds good. So with that, move on from Cecily and we move back to Thor. Thor is going to stand up from prone, see who he thinks is Morwen down on the ground, and is going to say,
Well, I didn't think you'd still be standing after what my father did.
and is going to pick her up by her leg and just throw her up in the air. As you see Morwen's body just slam into the rock up here. They're going to take a considerable amount of damage. Why am I using
pretty
real
sick.
dice?
I need to unlock that move.
I'm going to take 22 points of damage. And so Thor's movement speed is halved. They got 75 fly speed. Okay, so they stand and then picking up Mjolnir, fly over towards Morwen and
More Boulder.
more Boulder. And yeah, is just gonna go ahead and take 2 attacks with Mjolnir at Morwen, just sort of like their body kind of hanging on the rock, like a hammer on an anvil. Thor is just going to slam twice. So that's going to be, I think these both auto hit, but that is a 24. That's a hit. And that's a 25. That is also a hit. So that is
Do we
going.
need Boulder to be with us?
So that is 60-10 plus. Oh my god. 24 plus. I'm gonna get rid of my plus 24. There we go. Okay. Woo! Holy shit! That's a lot. 120 points of damage. Morwen, still conscious. As you can
he's
see,
fine.
just slamming directly into the stomach of Balder. You can see each time there is a heave, this sort of cry out in pain from the slams that are had. As you can see, Thor eventually recoils and just sort of like smiles and says,
Ah, finally. Somebody worthy.
and looks back at you now, alive, Ajax. All right.
Frames! That's my held action. He came up the hill, so I get
Oh.
to shoot him again.
All right. Pop, pop.
Jack just looks back at him with one closed black eye.
26
That hits.
and a 16. 16. What is up with one hit and a miss? Okay, that's fine.
Hand's a little shaky.
I guess.
Palm sweaty. Knees weak.
15 points of damage.
Mom spaghetti.
Yep, another bullet lodged into his stomach. To no reaction from Thor.
Yeah.
All right, and then Cecily, you had a held action as well.
You're
You're
muted.
muted.
All part of my plan. She will waive her held action. She is fine with Balder getting the shit kicked out of him.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Okay, then we come to Balder's turn. Balder's no longer prone, I guess. They're kind of upright in the rock.
Is it like in Dragon Ball Z when they're like inside the rock and
Yeah, it's body shaped.
Peter
Yeah.
into it.
What?
Remember when like Kratos baseball bats Balder with like a like
Just a tree.
Yeah.
he fucking trunks him.
Okay.
But Balder, almost said Barder. Balder has like infinite health. He can't die. He can't be hurt, right?
That's true.
Actually,
Yeah.
should. If he dies, he's a liar. That's his fault.
Yeah. We ain't calling him a truther.
Snitches get stitches and liars get the fire.
Or, in this case, Thor's hammer.
Okay. All right. Let me double check this spell real quick. What type of saving throw is this? Okay. All right. Balder's got his move. So Thor is like partway holding on to Balder, and you can see Balder just like grabbing onto his neck and trying to pull it away. As eventually some of the fingers do get loose, you can see Balder say, "So you fat fuck, you like to fly?" and is going to cast reverse gravity
Oh my god.
just outside of the range of hitting him. And Thor needs to make a dexterity saving throw.
I love the tradition of reverse gravity on the Odinson family. Let's keep it going.
Oh, there goes gravity.
Okay.
Defying
this is
gravity.
Just make them fly to the sky.
Okay, so DC 21.
So I'll try to find.
So you see Thor's head kind of cock, as he didn't know that was something Mormon had the ability to do. And you can see with that,
Crazy.
Thor's feet kind of slowly begin to pick up off the ground as he is flung up into the air, 100 feet up into the air, because there's
my God.
there's no ceiling
Hell
here.
yeah.
And Balder is then going to fall down. We need to go, and is going to use the rest of the movement to walk into the thing.
Hey,
All right, we can take him, guys.
Ajax, I swear to God, I will kill you myself.
Okay, so then after that, everybody goes before Thor gets another turn. Is anybody doing anything else before you
No.
run?
We're getting in the thing. Let's just go. We can't deal with this shit.
Okay, alrighty. So with that, I'm gonna go ahead and end the combat encounter. All of you run in to the underways. I'll go ahead and activate this one. As you do, you can hear Thor yelling as the rain recedes in the background, screaming after you, telling you to come back and fight. But eventually, the rain stops. And all that is left is the sounds of the underway. The sound of wind, of creaking stone, of candlelight, a fire. Every once in a while, the clinking of gold coins. As all of you look and hope that that is the last bit of excitement that you get for the day. So, as all of you enter, go ahead, place them there. We go, nice. So, as all of you enter into the underways, you can see Balder sort of takes a moment once getting down to the bottom of the stairs just to catch his breath. And then you can see the visage of Morwen drop with a small wave of his hand and a small flash of magic, as if he's dispelling some type of spell. Well, I'll be the first to admit that could have gone better.
I think it's perfectly fine.
That's bold words coming from a man who also got battered by Thor.
Ajax gonna spit some blood out. He's gonna look over to Carousel and say, "Thank you."
It's important that Regardless of how much of a battering we get, we all get here in the first place.
Oh,
I agree.
he hits very hard.
Yes, he definitely does. Definitely one of his more desirable features when he's on your side.
Did anyone know that? Sorry, how did we end up just immediately running into Thor?
Well,
Cecily is gonna take that cue, just kind of a twitch of her brow, a slight crackle of energy at her wrist, not readying a spell, just sort of a diffusal. She's gonna march up to Balder, be within a couple feet of him. Tell me right now that you didn't lead him to us.
I didn't lead him to you. I'm hoping that seeing what he did to me, I'm hoping that might be enough, but if not, I do know that Odin had sent Thor searching for giants again. After what happened with Magni and Modi, he knew that the giants had a play in it. Thor saw Laufey and what she did. So I heard him calling a name for Butter, the Loki's father, actually. So it seems as though he was in this region of Bella Clara, hunting him. And as chance had it, luckily stumbled upon all of you. All of us. I promise you, I had nothing to do with it. In fact, I would have preferred not encountering him in the first place. I don't like to encounter my brother. Not at all.
Luck. You know, your father's a pretty good fucking liar. Why am I supposed to believe anything you say? After that? After all of you are hunting us down?
I suppose the only reason you have is because if I really was here to kill you and capture you, there's very little you could do to stop me. Invulnerable to all damage, physical and magical.
Are there any signs of damage from the fight that just happened on him? Because she'll kind of investigate his trunk and see if there's anything.
Yeah, make a quick, we'll say perception check, just as you kind of look him up and down.
Cool. That is a middling 11.
Okay. Looking him up and down, aside from the armor that is on his chest, being slightly dented and a little roughed up, the rest of him seems fine. There's no cuts, bruises. There's no blood that you can see at all. He seems fine, other than a little out of breath from having the wind knocked out of him.
You're lucky if that's true, then. She'll step away from him. We shouldn't be here very long, should we?
And you can see Vondor step up as he says,
No. We've lingered too long anyway.
There's no way we can rest slightly.
You can see Vondor, he looks up and down the tunnels. and he pulls out a small device, a very similar one that you've seen that's currently glowing gold, and he puts that back in his pocket, and he reaches out and he pulls out another one that seems to be almost like a compass with a lot of different dials and cogs on it as he looks at that one.
We maybe only have an hour more of walking, and we'll be there.
All right. Ajax is he has 2 hand axes, so he's just gonna unclip one of them from his side and just hold it and just look to everyone and say, and kind of lift it up and say, "This is all I got to do anything. No one has a great sword, do they?"
You see Suni, he kind of claps you on the back and reaches into his bag. Oh, sorry. It's not a full one, but I did grab this. And he pulls out the hilt with a sort of like serrated, like obsidian glass at the very top of it and hands it to you.
Thank you, Suni.
No problem.
Ajax, stay in the middle of the group. It's not that I don't think you can handle yourself, but
No, I understand. I am very badly beat up.
with not your favorite weapon.
I could stab something with this, I guess.
Yeah.
He's gonna sheathe the top half. Or the top. He's still got it.
Mm-hmm.
And just, I'll stay in the middle.
Is it just like a handle that is bobbing in a scabbard? There's nothing holding
Belly
it in.
clinging
It's
in there.
just
Yeah.
It's faith.
if you tilt a little too far to the left, it just falls right out.
I just imagine has anyone here seen 7 Deadly Sins?
Enough.
No.
No.
A little
There's
bit,
a-
yes.
The main guy has a broken sword that he keeps in like a whole sheath, but it's just like
Mhm.
the
Oh,
very tip of
yeah.
it.
Yep. Yeah.
Meliodas.
Meliodas.
Okay.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah. I will also say, just because Ajax is obviously very hurt, I'm hoping we're not going to get into more combat, Joe. But we'll also just pump in another cure wounds.
Would you say that
So
to
you're
me
not
like that's
walking
my
around on-
responsibility?
I don't know. Kind of slipped out. But yeah, just so he's not fucking on death's door.
That does feel a lot better.
Let's
Just make it a general rule to not fight Thor again.
Good
Ow.
idea.
I'm glad everyone's okay.
Maybe we should keep the lighting to a minimum as well, so we draw less attention as we're walking through these tunnels.
Well, I can do that. I don't have a sword anymore. I'm just
And then I was gonna say, I think I would like Bianca to walk probably in the back with Balder. Not to chat, but kind of just to like inspect him or like spend time near him. Cause like we spent some time with the Odinsons, and like I just want to see if Bianca's picking up anything new that maybe she hadn't before about him, especially like with the skill set of shapeshifting.
Okay. So
we caught him.
If there's not enough to go on, that's fine. But I mean,
I'm gonna say make an insight check with disadvantage because you're not talking to him, so there's nothing really to read other than the way he holds himself. So let's see if there's something.
Insight with disadvantage. Rough. Well, okay, that's fair. Okay.
Are we
Wait, that
currently
was-
walking right now?
Yeah, you are. Vondor
That
started
wasn't
walking, so
bad.
it's up to all of you
But
to.
insight disadvantage. 7.
Yeah, I mean, as far as you can tell, this Balder and the one that you had talked to in Fjardeleth, and the one who you saw carry away and walk with, fuck, why can't I remember his name? Hrothgar's a body. They are exactly the same in the way they move, the way they talk, their mannerisms.
everything is the same.
Okay.
Cecily, as we're walking, I think Bianca would notice, and probably other people, but especially Bianca would notice that she's occasionally glancing back toward the lanterns, particularly the one that contains Tyr right now, and she has kind of this. It's mostly anger right now, of course, because what's new? But she's has this occasional worry and sort of powerlessness that crosses her face as she looks at Tyr's soul and kind of is wondering about the implications of Thor being able to find them again, and if they're on more of a ticking clock than they thought with that whole situation. She's very obviously in her head about everything.
Mm-hmm.
But mostly she is anger walking.
I think
Yeah,
Ajax.
Carousel.
Oh, go ahead.
Okay. Carousel wouldn't say anything because it's Cecily. But
No.
I imagine she'd be able to notice Cecily's whole thing, and so she's just gonna kind of stride up to her, and is just going to put a light arm just over her shoulder and give a little comforting squeeze. Again, not saying anything, but we'll just walk with her.
All right. She will not protest at all. Just kind of let that happen. Yeah. She's clearly calming down a little bit and comforted by the gesture, though she would never say that.
I think, I mean, at some point during this walk, Ajax is going to walk up to Cecily.
Sup, fam?
He's going to walk up, look at her, anger walking, and all that, and not really knowing. I mean, we've only known each other in game, what, like a month, maybe?
Roughly, I think.
Yeah. So Ajax doesn't really know cues yet. So he just walks up and he says, I understand you are angry. Did you want to talk?
No. No, I don't.
May I ask questions?
May I not answer them?
How about advice? Or what I know from my experience? You can just
Okay.
listen, and if you don't like what I have to say, then just tell me to leave. From my experience in battle and war, I did hear you back there talking to Balder, asking if he set us up. And that is a very valid thing to think, but from my experience, I don't think he did. If you're going to set someone up and that was the setup, we should all be dead. And he would not have helped us in the battle if that was true.
You don't know them.
You're right. I don't. But if
They're-
there was an...
They're 10 steps ahead, and they're going to push and prod and make us feel like we're doing things we want to until we are exactly where we need to be. Then we're dead. Hardly know how we got out of it the first time.
Possibly. I will keep an eye out for things in the future. I will watch Balder very closely. But I don't think that was his doing. I think that was coincidence. Unfortunate, but coincidence nonetheless. If they were going to take us out, that was their opportunity. Just know, I'll keep an eye out. And I'm on your side, so whatever you want, just let me know.
Considering you only got the one eye, that's a pretty big deal, so thanks.
Thank you.
And her countenance did not lighten up at all while saying that. The sarcasm just kind of cut through, but she's still quite upset. But she listened. She definitely took it in.
I'll leave you be. And he's just gonna kind of back off slowly and let Cecily be.
Yeah, she'll like arch an eyebrow toward Carasilla and then just kind of think to herself, nope, still not talking, great. And then just kind of keep walking. Like she was almost like, oh god, is everybody gonna... But yeah, she's Yep.
Or I don't want to take more
I
time.
will actually.
Ah! Okay. I'm fine.
Once Ajax has retreated, Carousel, she's not gonna start a conversation, so Cecily can be relaxed. But she will just say, Ajax is a smart man, That's it.
She will purse her lips and nod.
I don't know. This is when the party stops liking Ajax.
A begrudging... No, it's a begrudging acknowledgement of the fact that you are correct.
And we'll give another little squeeze of like, yes, correct answer. Or response, I guess.
Ajax is gonna fall back to Bianca.
Yeah, chit
I don't
chat
wanna
and
I'm
nod.
sorry.
Yeah, standing next to
Don't
Balder.
I don't want to take up more time.
No, go for it.
Dude, you're good.
You're gonna be dead. Take that
I just
time.
play extra long.
Yeah. This is the game.
He's gonna fall back to Bianca and just walking in tandem with her, and just say, "Is there anything else I need to know about?"
Probably.
All right.
Well, we were outlaws originally when we left. Well, no. We were outlaws, got free to be mercenaries, and then we got outlawed again. Went to the future, came back to the present.
Right.
This and stuff's already dealt with, so it doesn't matter.
I'm more meant. Is there anyone currently right now I don't know about trying to kill you guys? Because, look, you don't need to tell me if you don't feel the need to. Just know I will throw myself in front of everybody to protect everyone. It would just be nice.
Well, it would be also nice if you didn't always throw yourself in front of us to die.
Hey,
You could work with us. Think of that one.
I'm gonna be honest. I was kind of isolated, and he was about to go for
Okay, this
everybody,
last instance was definitely our fault. The reason why you got isolated. So sorry. No, so here's the problem. There probably is someone I'm forgetting about. It's just been a whirlwind. It feels like everyone's been our enemy. For a while. Okay, Rose Fisher hates us, I'm sure still. She was kind of working with the Odinsons, and she also originally hated me probably the most. Basically, the whole Fisher family is super sus. Anyone that's an Odinson.
Okay.
There's gotta be more. I feel like I'm just forgetting.
Any other gods I need to worry about?
No, it seems like the gods. Okay, so there's a time god that was really mad at us for a second, but he was being, like, I guess, possessed by the Dark One or one of the 13 members, so we're fine now.
So we don't have to fight a time god.
Hopefully, we thought we were gonna have to.
All right.
Is this comforting for you, knowing more?
It's good for me to know, as your master of war and defense.
How about this? We'll have a serious conversation about all of this together because honestly, it would be good because I mean, we also still have the creator, which you were there for that one, but there's a lot of enemies and there's a lot of allies and we really do need to keep those
Wait,
lines
question.
from crossing.
I don't think Ajax was there for the creator.
Oh my god.
Typho was.
Typho was, that's what I'm remembering.
I was there as the player.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So the creator there adds that one to the list.
And who is the creator?
He likes to take strong beings, put them together with other strong beings, and make them stronger to fight the Dark One. It's like sacrifice for the greater good in his mind.
So, a psychopath. But
Completely.
for good.
Yeah. So in a way, it's just like Odin. It's a bad guy that's fighting the same bad guy that we are.
Did you all piss off the creator?
Yes.
All right.
We didn't join him, and basically he was like, you either are with me or against me. So it's not like we did anything in particular. He did take some of Suni's DNA. So he's
what?
using that to make creatures, probably. So we might be fighting some Sunis.
All right. Well,
I'm so sorry, Ajax. There actually is a lot, and I'm sure I'm forgetting more.
it's okay. You know, I'll just continue to fight alongside everybody and try to protect everyone. Whatever comes at us, I don't need to know. I will just be there.
No, we will let you know. We just need to actually let you know. Carousel has a much better memory than I do. I'm good at books. Carousel is good at telling stories. So.
Well, how are you currently?
Glad you're not dead.
Me too. I think that was the hardest I've ever been hit in my life. And I've been hit a lot.
I didn't think you were alive. And that's what I mean when I say I just don't want to see you throwing yourself. And I know you weren't thrown this time. We put you there, but...
You didn't put me there. It was the circumstance of everything.
I know, I just didn't know he was going to hit you. I just didn't think he would even think... I don't know.
You didn't think Thor...
He didn't know who you were. I didn't know he was just going to fight someone he had never seen before.
That's fair. Usually people don't fight random people.
And when we first met him, yeah, he was scary and intimidating, but he still felt like he had a conscience of some kind, some sort of moral.
It seems like he was looking for something and he couldn't find it, and that was the first thing he saw.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not dead. Not everyone got out. All that happened was I lost a sword. So, net positive.
Positive. Okay. Just stay close to us. We'll stay close to you too.
Sounds like a plan. Well, then Ajax is just gonna go, how much longer to, what was his name?
Vondor.
Vondor?
Yeah, Vondor. He turns around.
We'll be there soon.
All right.
Did you want to know more, or was that it?
No, just time frame.
Soon.
Are we there yet?
I have to use the bathroom.
I don't feel the greatest right now, so.
So as all of you are walking along, following Vondor's lead, eventually you do get to a point in the caves where you can see the interior shifts from this sort of like this dwarven hall with statues and candles. As you can see, it shifts to be more natural. And you can see these small blue crystals that just glow and thrum with magical energy. They don't provide any light, but there is a slight glow to them. As you begin walking forward, you can see Vondor stop, and he looks behind all of you and says,
We will be there very soon. We are very close to the city now. The only thing I will say is there are creatures that you're going to see, constructs. These constructs are not enemies, but they are trained to defend themselves. So please, when walking by them, do not look at them. Do not breathe in their direction. Just look forward and keep walking.
with that, he will continue walking. And initially you can hear them first. You can hear these the chattering of mechanical legs roiling and shifting next to each other, the screeching of metal on metal, and you can hear this sort of digging sound. Every once in a while you hear this in a very similar way to what like a scorching ray sounds like, where there's that like brief shot of fire and then crumbling of rock. And every once in a while you can see a flash of light, as eventually you enter into these crystalline caverns here. And you can see in front of you a creature very similar to this one here.
Oh my god.
Is this not going to... They changed... There was a module that I was using on Foundry for a while, and it changed, and now I'm annoyed.
Because things from the Matrix.
Because it don't work anymore. It makes me sad. Can I just drop this in chat? Nice. If it'll load. There we go. They look like that. So you can see this one giant purple eye of thrumming magic held behind this like golden helm as they just move over top of you and start digging into more crystals as all of you begin to move throughout.
And he said to not look at them?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Falcon.
Don't look at them. As you all continue to move throughout, and you can see there's another one that rounds the corner as all of you move past it. It seems to not investigate you. It seems not to look at you. And you can see another one move over here. And you can see as it gets to this corner here, Cecily, right where you're standing, it sort of stops and it looks down at you. And you can see you're standing right over top of one of these crystals.
She will keep her head bowed and just step backwards slowly until she can hide behind somebody in the group.
Okay, so you step behind Bianca as she's just right there. And you can see this, as soon as you move out of the way, there is this flash of red energy from its purple eye slamming down in the ground as it breaks around the earth, and the crystal just sort of drops into the small crater. As you can see, its one mechanical hand move down, pick it up like a claw machine, and then you can see it insert it somewhere into the base of the stomach of the creature. As then it turns around and begins to walk away, and you can...
She's just gonna be looking at the floor going, holy shit, holy shit. Holy shit.
As all of you then make it to the end. And the sounds of the underways begin to fade. As you begin to hear what sounds like church, like chanting, singing, vocalization happening in the distance. You can hear small animals, a brief gust of wind, even some small streams. But most importantly, you also hear the cling of hammer on anvil. As eventually all of you walk in, and you can see in front of you a bridge. As you enter the city of Kal Ladarian. I'll go ahead and drop that spelling in the chat. That's Kaj. Kal Ladarian. As you enter from the bridge, the immediate thing you see that your vision is drawn to is this massive 6-storied keep with these marvelous statues of dwarven lords and kings embedded into the towers, as sturdy and strong as it is masterful and artistic. You can see glowing orbs of orange light all throughout the city, the sound and sight of so many forges burning, so many candles burning. In this city, there is a reverence that looms over it. This is a sacred place. And that is made so incredibly clear looking up past the keep. You can see not water, what you thought was water, but you can see this magical outpour. Very similar to water, it is this liquid that pours down these cascading falls. But it has this beautiful translucent purple and blue glow that illuminates the bottom of this city. And you can see where it's emanating from. There is this beautiful transcendent light at the very top of the city, on the opposite end of where you are. You can see it glows bright. It envelops the entire city in this cool, soothing blue light. And right in the middle of that light, you can see a set of stairs lead up. And you can see one massive anvil and a hammer that sits on top of it. As you can see, Vondor turns to all of you and says,
Welcome to the city of Kaladarian, the city of my people, and home to the Eidolon's crucible. I understand all of you have business here to attend to, but while you are in the city, you are considered the guests of King Oldblood. You may stay in the keep. At your earliest convenience, he would like to meet with you, but he would like you to know that you may explore the city should you see fit. The people here are aware of your arrival, and they will treat you with respect. Do not expect warmth, though. The last time outsiders were let into our realm, they abused what we gave them. Something that you,
as he looks to you, Ajax, actually, and looks to Balder,
have both felt very recently. Please follow me.
and with that, he turns, and I will now go ahead and pull all of you to the map.
Ooh.
God.
So you guys are entering right from number 8 right here. And you can see the city just climbs up and up and up till eventually we get the Eidolon, the Eidolon's Crucible up here at number 1.
And that's the anvil.
That's where the anvil is. Yep. So there's that.
First
So-
off, this is fucking cool. Thank you, Joe. Second off,
You're welcome.
Cecily, I like D&D, but Cecily does have a question for Vondor as they're walking a bit, if there's a moment for that at all.
Yeah, as you guys are walking up the, Ooh, I need to change something here real quick, sorry. Gridless. Save changes. There we go. Nice. Okay, as all of you are approaching, this bridge is quite long. It's probably a 15-minute walk from the massive trees that sort of encroach the entrance to the gate. As all of you approach, you can easily walk next to Vondor and talk to him.
Like San Francisco down here, man. But yeah, she's gonna come up to him and just. You mentioned old blood. Is that gonna be bad for me? I'm assuming you can tell.
I can see it in your eyes. That is true. Provided you wish no harm upon us, no harm will befall you. As I said, the people of this city, my people, will treat you with respect because of what you've done for the people, the outsiders. But do not expect kindness. Even the more favorable of your kind, those of the old blood, still share some burden in the pain we feel.
I take it the difference between Aesir and Vanir doesn't matter down here either, does it?
No. It was the Vanir who wished to have a weapon made to combat Mjolnir. We saw the destruction that Thor brought. So we did just that, and they gave it to someone who is worthy to wield it. But then after their insurrection failed, the weapon was abandoned. I only hope that it has not fallen into the wrong hands.
She has a few more questions internally, but she's just gonna chew on that for a bit and fall back with the group. She'll probably, I mean, we're gonna go talk to the king guy anyway, so she'll probably ask him some stuff later.
Okay. Yeah. So, all of you make your way up to the city gates, and you can see that as Vondor enters, as he walks up, the doors open for him. There's no one manning the gates. There's no one cranking anything. It's just when Vondor approaches, the gates open for him. As he enters, you can see he prepares to depart from you, as he says to all of you,
When you're ready, if you head up that way, it will lead you straight. It will lead you straight to the Keep of Stranded Souls, where King Borelli Boldblood calls us home. As I said before, he would like you to enjoy Galadriel, as many do not get this opportunity to do so. Look around, and when you're ready, you may come and find myself, and I will lead you to him. Enjoy your time in Galadarian.
and with that,
Thank you, Vonder.
he'll nod,
Thank you.
and then he'll turn and he'll begin to head up the same set of stairs that he told you to head up. So with that, you all now in the very center of the map. You may go anywhere you see fit. So, I will say, just as in case there's any way that piques your curiosity, I'll go ahead and tell you what some of these numbers are. And we'll say that Vondor kind of gave you the lowdown. So number 1, like I said, is the Eidolon's Crucible. Hammer and Anvil seems to be a place of profound power for the forging of weapons and armor. Number 2, he would say, is the Realm Gate, which is a way to travel between all of the realms, anywhere where they may have a connection to it. Then there is number 3, which is the Keep of Stranded Souls, which is the Keep of the King. Then number 4 is the Watchman's Tower. These are the individuals who are responsible for making sure that the creatures outside of the city in the underways or in the underdark or any other type of creature don't make their way into this holy sacred place. Number 5 is the Spirits and Old Souls Tavern, a place for the dwarves of the city to relax and unwind after a day of worship, prayer, and work. Number 6 is a path that leads directly to Calderas. Number 7 is a path that leads to Farah. And number 8, the one that you came from, leads to Eridane.
We should go to Pharaoh.
Yeah, let's go.
Transcontinental flights they got down here.
Realm Gate? Dude, can we just
We
go to
become
another
the
realm?
explorers of the Pharaoh.
Yeah, just
Again.
go to the City of Pain, just rendezvous with the Isles crew, you know?
Oh my god, imagine!
my
Oh my
God.
gosh.
Can we use the Realm Gate? Can we just go to like anywhere?
Yeah, you'd have to go and ask, but you know.
All right, let's go to the Feywild. Is that a thing? Does that exist?
Yeah, the Feywild exists.
Let's go to does Mount Celestia exist?
Yep.
Let's go there.
All right.
Wow.
Derailed, look at Peg completely.
Yeah, as you get to the Realm Gate, just to look around and investigate, you can see the dwarvish woman who is in charge of the area. As you approach, says,
I'm very sorry to say, but the Realm Gate is closed for now, as all of you have important business with King Borelli. He'd like you to see the city, but not to leave before he has a chance to talk with you. Sorry.
I feel like I just walked up to the area that's not unlocked and I talked to the person. They're like, sorry, come back later once you've completed some missions.
My son's blocking the path. Sorry, you can't get through.
You need a little more experience for this part. You need
We gotta
4
grind.
gym badges for that grass. Oh man. Well, the tavern certainly sounds interesting.
It does.
And then the number 4. I remember it being interesting.
The
Which
Watchtower?
number? Which number is the place that we're like staying at?
number
3.
3.
Okay, that's what I thought. I couldn't remember.
Let's go to the.
And that's where
I-
the king is too, right?
Mhm.
In number 3. Okay.
What is it called? The Eidolon's
Eidolon's Crucible.
Crucible.
Yeah, that's number 1.
Eidolon's Crucible.
Eidolon. And then
That's the
that's the
Spirits
tavern, yeah.
and Old Souls Tavern.
Yeah.
Ajax is gonna just say to the party and say, I would just like to find a place where I can clean up. I look like shit, and I don't want to see a king looking like this. Unless you guys want to go talk to him, that's fine.
Well, if we're staying there, like where the king is, I guess we could just get ready to see him and then see him.
It's whatever you all want to do.
I personally feel like it'd be rude to do other things before we visit with the king. And we really have a long history of people taking advantage of the resources and things, so I think it'd be pretty ideal if we got ready to see him and then saw him first, and then we could do as we wished.
Well, you're the royal.
I mean, if anyone has any other ideas, I'm open to hear it. That's just my thought.
No, I think we'll, I suppose, ask to come here. And so it only makes sense to not keep him waiting any longer than we already have.
Agreed.
Master Builder says that's a good plan.
Master of War says he needs to take a shower first.
Right. Let's go relax and get ready to meet the king.
Okay. So after being told that you don't have enough experience to proceed further, you head back to where you came from. Decided to grind a bit more.
Collect 8 wolf hearts.
Alrighty. So as you head into the keep, the sounds of the city and of the smithing forges, they fade. But the sound of many voices singing in harmony echoes all throughout the city. Whereas these people, as they forge, as they create, as they make, it is a physical experience, but it is also spiritual for them as they sing as they do. Because for the dwarves of the Mazdram Mountains of the city of Kaladarian, when they create, they put either a part of themselves in the thing that they're creating, or the soul or spirit of a loved one in their memory to wear as a bracer or a pauldron or a breastplate, or to use as an axe or to use as a hammer based off of the deeds that they had accomplished in their life, channeling their spirit and their energy into those things. Where every device, every item in this city that is forged is something that has someone's spirit, has someone's memory in it. As all of you enter back into the keep, you head up the way that Vondor told you to, and eventually you can see that he is there waiting for you. As you all approach, he says,
Oh, very good. You've returned. Are you ready to see King Boldblood, or would you like to do something else instead?
I believe we just wanted to take a second to get ready and settled before we met him, just so we were presenting our best selves.
Of course. Allow me to show you to your rooms.
and as he moves you throughout the keep, through several interconnected hallways, eventually you do find a block of rooms that have been tidied and cleaned for all of you. They have beds that are properly sized for those individuals who are not small folk. You are each given your own individual room with a bed that has some amount of feathering to the mattress, but it's still on a stone base. But you can see they've tried to make accommodations for individuals who are not like them. So as all of you settle in, as all of you sort of set your things down, you begin to clean yourselves up and are right about ready to reconvene to meet with the king. That is where we're going to go ahead and take a break. Boom. There we go. So thanks for watching so far, everybody. Hope that you have enjoyed. It's been a lot of fun. Good session. But we're going to go ahead and take a break, and we'll be right back. All right, we're back and we're talking about teeth.
You wish you had 2 rows of teeth, right?
Yep.
Viewers?
So you could eat frozen corn dogs, I'm sure.
John, the question is 3, not 2.
By the way,
3 rows of
just
teeth?
as a
we have
John
2.
John eats frozen corn dogs. I just want that to he eats frozen corn dogs.
No, you got and you're just mad.
And then John has the audacity to eat frozen corn dogs and then in the Discord server say that he's the coolest guy in the Discord server.
Well, that part's
And
maybe
that
true.
you have actually disproven that by the fact that you eat frozen corn dogs.
No, because those are a cool food.
You
know,
you dirty dog lover.
I just think there's too many activities that would be impeded by a 3rd row of teeth. You know? I don't need to list them. You can think of them. But, like,
Imagination.
Drop it in the comments below.
Oh my god.
drop
What would
your
impede you
favorite
if you had 3 rows
activity
of
that teeth would impede.
And do you eat frozen corn dogs? Yes or no? Take it away,
Let me
Joe.
specify. Not microwaved. Out of the freezer like a popsicle, just.
Yeah.
Can we
Okay.
play the game?
I don't know if I'm ready. yet.
This is the game.
Okay.
I don't want to king now that we're in the right
We get
headspace.
into the game. Ajax is like, so do you eat frozen corn dogs?
Oh my god.
Are they corn dogs in
Cecily
Illico?
cast expand teeth.
You know,
My
Ajax
least
might
favorite
have
spell.
2 rows of teeth.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, anyway,
Think about
picking up where we left off, our group of adventurers had finally made their way to the city of Kala Darien. As they made their way into the city, they had explored just a little bit, but they decided that it would be best to speak with the king first, see what he wished of them, and then go from there. So the party made their way to their rooms. They were guided there by Vondor. And as they made their way to the rooms, they investigated a bit. They cleaned themselves up, and they now head to speak with the king himself. After emerging from your rooms, is there anything any of you wanted to do to prepare yourselves? Anything anybody wanted to talk about before you make your way to the dwarf king's throne to speak with him?
I didn't have anything.
I have a little thing. Just while everyone's, getting ready and in their rooms, Carousel wants to try and write down what Emerald said to her.
Okay. You write it down.
So she's able to?
Yeah.
Okay. Should not increase too many variables. Once she has it written down, she wants to go to where Bianca's room is.
Okay. As you pick it up, and go to stand, you forget what you were doing. You just have this piece of paper in your hand and you just kind of have it now. Not exactly sure what to do with it. You don't know what you wanted to do, but you're pretty sure you weren't ready to leave your room yet.
Still have the writing on it?
Yeah.
Okay. She'll just chuck it in one of the pockets of the gleaming cloak.
Mhm.
Shrug and I guess continue getting ready.
God. The sanity loss that this would cause. Oh my god.
All right.
I think it's a wingdings though.
Carousel, as you
Cecily-
put it in the
Oh, sorry.
pocket, you forget that you put it in the pocket, but you remember the phrase now.
Okay, might be a bit of a dumb loop, but she's gonna try writing it down again. Thinking that, she hasn't tried this yet, but like, oh shit, I forgot I was gonna do this.
Same things happens. As you go to put it in your pocket, you feel that there's another piece of paper in your pocket. You pull it out, both things are written the exact same way. The exact same tear on the paper, literally both of them are exactly the same.
50 first dates.
Jesus. Check
Okay.
yourself for carbon monoxide poisoning. This is terrifying.
She obviously thinking, okay, something is really fucking up here. She's just gonna keep one of the pieces. Like, she'll keep the one that was already in there in her pocket. And then she'll just leave the other one just on the desk. I imagine there's like a desk or some shit in there.
Yeah.
Something to write on. Whatever it is.
Okay.
And just face up, writing up, you know.
Alrighty. Sounds good to me. That is exactly what you do. You leave one there, you put the other one in your pocket.
Yeah. Obviously, very frustrated about all of those things, but it's just like, okay, I don't know how else to go around this, so.
Okay. All right. So, Carousel, you exit out of your room, and then Cecily, you had something you wanted to do?
Yeah, she's just kind of aware of the what Vondor said and kind of wanting to put as much distance between her and Baldur as possible. She is going to take extra care of her appearance. Probably pick out any pieces of debris from the tiara, wipe some things down, you know, redo the braid as finely as possible, get out any dirt and blood and whatever that's gathered in her hair over the course of the few days. The kinds of things that she normally would only worry about, like, when somebody tells her to. She just really feels this impulse to look as put together and as distinguished as possible, so that it's like, I am a Tierson and I am regal and I am proud is like very visible, because she doesn't like the fact that she's gonna be standing in a group with an Odinson in front of a man who probably doesn't care which one is which.
Mm-hmm. Okay, fair. You take the time to properly display everything, properly clean everything, to, like you said, look more like a Tierson and one of the good Aesir, not one of the ones that seems to have caused these people distrust and heartache. Okay.
Ajax, obviously going to clean up. Does he have? Because he got hit pretty hard with lightning and stuff. Is there any visible marks at all on his body, or is he pretty good?
No. As of right now, especially around the stomach and chest, it is bruised. Like, and it will be for several days, if not a week, where you have these, like, purple, deep purple, almost black welts all over your stomach and chest from where...
Underneath the fur.
Yeah, from where you had, like, been slammed into the ground. From that force. So it is sore, it hurts. And there are small patches of fur that are singed from the lightning, I'd say.
Okay.
But those will go back.
So he washes up, re-braids his hair, because there's braids throughout it. He washes his armor, which is probably dirty and singed in places, and kind of fixes it up. He's going to take the sheath. There's just like a table in here somewhere?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. He's going to place the sheath of his greatsword down, kind of look at the sword, and just say, Doric is really going to be pissed about this. You were good. And he's going to place the sword into the sheath and kind of just like stare at it for a little bit. He's a little upset. But he'll gather things and then meet everyone outside without the sheath and the sword and staying in the room.
Okay. All right. Does anybody else have anything they wanted to do in their room before they headed out?
Nothing of note. Bianca looks nicer than before. Cleans up.
You clean up a bit, and as you're getting ready to walk out, Mimir says, "You're looking quite lovely, if I may say so."
Thank you. I didn't know how nice to go. Just wanted to look nicer than I did, so.
The blood from underneath the fingernails, great call to remove it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She'll be sure to have, she'll actually have her sword sheathed and everything and have the lantern with her and, but yeah, she's nothing too crazy of note, but she has her stuff with her.
Okay. Alrighty. Sounds good to me. So, with that, all of you exit into the main foyer. Between your rooms, Vondor stands there and he looks to all of you and says, "Are all of you ready?"
I believe we are,
Balder
yes.
joining us with this?
Oh, yeah, Balder would be joining you for this. He didn't go into a room at all. He stayed out there chit-chatting with Vondor just a little bit.
Just out of curiosity, I didn't have anything to.
No, never mind. Okay. Alrighty. So with that, Vondor will begin to walk and head towards the main throne room of King Boldblood. Walking throughout the keep, you can see what looks to be in the walls, especially that you get closer to the keep. They are these carvings in the stone walls to your left and to your right. Carvings that depict dwarf craftsmen or kings, blacksmiths, armorers, fletchers, farmers. You see all of these dwarves, regardless of the clothing they wear, the their stature, their position, their place on the hierarchy of power, all of them are portrayed as equal in this final moment, in this final rest. As you can see, some of these individuals, they hold somewhere in their hand a sword or an axe or a hammer. They wear a helmet or a breastplate or pauldrons, while the rest of their attire is carved from stone. And you can see falling over them is a waterfall that's sort of cascading down the entirety of these halls over these carvings in the walls. Like I said, it is not clean water, clear water, like what you would be used to in a typical river or river city, but instead it is something that has this opalescence to it almost, this shifting of blue and purple, this radiance, this life to it. That every once in a while, as the water passes with an extra amount of vibrance to it, you can almost see the statues behind it come to life. Every once in a while, you see what you think is a spirit turn its head to watch as you walk down these hallowed halls. Eventually, as Vondor approaches this massive metal and stone door, it slowly swings open. As you see, a large and plainly decorated throne room. A simple stone seat, no back to it, no armrests, just a stone slab. It isn't elevated, it is on the ground. You see 2 tables and 4 benches carved from stone, sitting on the same level as the king. And you can see on each end of the room, one behind the king and then one to the left and to the right, are 3 hearths that burn bright as the flame crackles and provides warmth to this room. You can see an incredibly old man sits on this stone slab. He doesn't wear regalia of a king that you would see in Eridane or Calderaz. He wears simple irons and leathers. You can see he wears an apron. He has a belt on his side, a hammer resting in it. Wearing worn-down boots that have seen many, many, many miles of walking. His hair is pulled back in a simple top knot, where you can see that the majority of the front half of his hair has faded away and has begun to bald, as he has this just knot at the very back, pulling the hair out of his face, and this long beard of white. And you can see that every once in a while there's a small bit of iron that is mixed in with it for decoration. Not gold, not platinum, not silver, but iron. As you can see, he sits not kingly, but like that of someone who's been working on their feet all day. As he looks up to the door opening and sees all of you, you can see he smiles and begins to speak. This kingly booming voice emerges out of the frame of what seems to just be a simple blacksmith.
Well, greetings, friends. Welcome to the city of Kaladarian. To my city. I am King Borelli Boldblood. You may call me King Borelli, King Boldblood, or you may just refer to me as Borelli. You are guests in this city, and I claim no sovereignty over you. You have come here of your own accord, and I am incredibly grateful that you would do such a thing.
You can see he does stand momentarily as he sort of nods at your arrival in respect of all of you, but then he does take a seat back down.
So, on behalf of myself, on behalf of all of my people, we greatly appreciate you taking the dangerous journey. As Vandor told me, it wasn't just the dangers of the underways. Seems as though there were other dangers you encountered.
Well, first of all, thank you so much for inviting us, Bianca Damaris. And then she'll kind of like gesture to everybody else.
Ajax Dawnrider. Pleasure to meet you.
Baldur Odinson, but you and I have already met.
You can see King Borelli nods, his eyes narrowing at Baldur a bit, but not too much. You can see Suni says, Suni Kalukatho. King Borelli nods in recognition of the Kalukatho name.
Cecily Tierson, and we have not. She kind of makes a point of it in call to Baldur.
Arceladolski.
You can see he nods at both those names and lets out a heavy breath of air.
Very good. Introductions are out of the way. The most boring part of diplomatic meetings. I must be honest, it has been a long while since I've had one of these, so forgive me for any missteps I may make. My hammer may be steady at the forge, but my tongue is not nearly as dexterous or loquacious as it may have been in my younger years of diplomacy, so I apologize greatly for that.
No need. I am young in my years of diplomacy, so I am quite new to all of this. I do want to say we greatly appreciate the invitation to even be able to not just speak with you, but be here. I know that was a great leap of faith to make, and we do not, that does not go unnoticed.
I appreciate the kind words. The last time we had visitors here was when my father ruled. Some 900 years ago. When a group of minor gods arrived from a land called Jormungandria, challenging two of my best smiths to a competition. Make the best weapon. But I hold nothing against you, Balder. You had nothing to do with that competition other than a viewing of it. So yes, you are right, Bianca. It is a risk, but a measured one. I find that if what I have heard about all of you is true, it is not a risk, although it may seem as so to my people. And I apologize. I did not mean to laugh at your comment about being young. Most
Please
are,
do.
in comparison to me. I myself will be experiencing my 800th and 31st name day in a few months. So I apologize for any laughter that may be had.
Big laughter makes everything easier. And sounds like there's a lot I can learn from you. But I know that there was some business to address. I know your people and the kingdom under the Damaris name used to have a relationship. And that my grandmother, I believe, was what ruined that relationship. I'm not completely familiar with all the history, as a lot of it has been erased, and it's been a lot that I have to unbury and discover. I want to rebuild the relationship, and whatever happened, obviously it wasn't of my doing, but that doesn't mean it's not part of my name and our history. And I want to make right of everything that happened, and I have a lot of respect for the fact that you reached out, that you knew and you were aware, and I want to be aware and rebuild.
That makes me very happy to hear. Truthfully, it does. It is true your family, the Damaris people of Bella Clara, were one of the last relationships we had with the world above. And it is true that your grandmother, as it turns, is the one who ruined that relationship. You see, I could tell a difference in your grandmother between our political envoys we would send back and forth to each other. The other rulers of your nation, at the time, they would come and visit, regardless of how dangerous the underways were. They would travel. They would break bread. They would take part in the forging of weapons and understanding why what we do, we treat with such reverence. It was never something your grandmother was interested in. She demanded things of us, the same way that the All-Father does. But due to our respect for the Damaris name, we followed through. We continued to make weapons and armor. She paid for them. And we had our own responsibilities to uphold. We'll never go back on a deal that we've made. So, we continued. till eventually we heard what she was planning on doing. It was Vondor, actually, who discovered it. Your grandmother had planned to use the tools and weaponry we gave her to attack us. To use us instead of a transaction, a deal between two people, two civilizations. Enslave might not be the right word, but it is definitely not far off from what she wanted. The easier we would be to control, the more power she could gain from the encroaching war on her doorstep. The investors, as I believe they are called, did not take kindly to her power grabs. So, she wanted to have the weapon she needed to fight back. Sadly, both of those endeavors blew up in her face. We shut off all paths she knew to get to our home. We ended all shipments, and shortly thereafter, a revolution was had. For better or for worse, I cannot tell you, but I know she no longer rules. But what I do know is that a cool, cold, cruel wind hangs over Damaris Keep. We can feel it in the stone here. It moves throughout the mountain. A cold wind is building. We've heard the stories. Regardless of how I may feel about the All-Father, or prophecy in general, we have all heard of the end times. Of Fimbulwinter, of Ragnarok. The end of it all. And we mean to prevent it. Not to move on from history, but I have had a long time to live in history, and I'm tired of it. I called you all here. I invited you into our home that has not seen visitors in many years, because I know what you're capable of. And I wanted to prove myself as a worthy ally because I am tired of waiting. I have waited for...
All right, stopping XBR 75X850D. The
God
mic's
damn,
off.
Google. Shut up.
Get heavy place here.
I hate everything right now. Jesus Christ. All right.
I've spent so much of my life waiting and listening and reading and working. 850 years is too long. I want to help. I want to make a difference. And it seems as though that's what all of you are doing. So as I said in my message, it was honest. We can sense that all of you carry powerful souls with you, not just the ones you keep in the vessels that are your own bodies, but in those lanterns. I know not what souls lie in them. But those weapons, those souls, can be forged into great things should you wish, if they should help you on your journey, and the Eidolon's Crucible can do that. On top of that, I'm sure there were those you may have lost in the fighting in Periton. We have a priest, the most powerful of our collective. Should you wish, they could attempt to bring them back from the dead, even if their soul is gone. It would be a ritual, a long and arduous process, but they could try to bring one back. If that is something you wish. These are what my people have to offer now, and although we are workers and smiths, we are not great warriors. We can offer our services to whatever fighting force you may have, to make them weapons and armor worthy of such a cause that you lead. That is what I can offer, and I graciously hope you accept this old king's offer.
Bianca will give him a nod, but then turn to her council plus Carcilla, and kind of just give them a look over. Is anyone giving her vibes of like, maybe we shouldn't? Because like otherwise Bianca's gonna turn and accept. But I don't want to make any choices without consulting the squad.
I mean, if you look towards Ajax, Ajax is nodding.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Cecily is. You go ahead.
Carousel would basically just do the same. Like, if she's looking back for opinions, Carousel would just kind of give a little nod.
Cecily will again glance at the lantern containing Tyr, but she will nod as well, in general, to the assistance that he's offering.
Okay. And then she'll turn back to him and say, forgive me, it's not that I was hesitant of your offer, it's that I want to be different than the woman that led before me. I think that we absolutely would love your assistance, but I do want to also extend that I think a huge problem maybe was that the Old Kingdom relied a lot on you, but there wasn't much you were getting from the Old Kingdom. And I want to, obviously, once everything is rebuilt and we are a functioning kingdom again, I want to offer you all something as well. I think it should be a partnership and not so heavily leaning on one giving to the other, so that we can have a long history of a partnership that leads to less risk of use and abuse of one's power. Is there anything you would benefit from my kingdom?
I believe there are two things I can think of. For one of the travesties that we've learned about is that of the city of Summer's Rest. There is a mining community within that city. I'm not sure if you do know then.
We did learn of it right before we had to leave. It's heart-wrenching and horrible. I know what you're talking about.
Good. I do not wish to take ownership of the city as my own. I wish to send my own smiths, masters of their craft, to teach them, to show them the way that we create, and a wish for those people to be treated fairly and equally. Those that live beneath the earth should receive the same amount of reverence of those who bask in the sun.
I think that is entirely doable.
Good. Thing number two. This one is more difficult to ask for, and I recognize that. And I apologize if any offense is brought about from it. My people are more than willing to provide their services to this coming conflict. To provide you the power, weapons, and armor that are necessary for what you need to do. We wish not for our knowledge to be lost, but we know that what we do cannot continue to exist in a world that requires peace and prosperity. We wish for the knowledge of our people to be kept in the libraries of the Keep of Damaris, that those may read it at their own pleasure. They may discover about the dwarves who existed within the Mazdra Mountains. But after the war and the fighting is over, and the darkness that encroaches on our world is gone, we wish no longer to participate in the world outside. In fact, when all of this is over, I mean to destroy the Eidolon's crucible, as it is very clear to me that the power of weapons like Mjolnir, the Leviathan axe, and others we have made is too powerful and can be too easily manipulated for evil. And I wish for you to allow this to happen.
You are the king of your own kingdom. I am not in control of what you do and what you see best and fit for your people and your history. I am happy to house the information and knowledge of your people at the keep. Easy, no problem. And though I am sad to see that the relationship will be brief, I am happy that you all will be at peace. If this is the decision that you feel is most correct for you and your people, I support it.
Thank you. Very well then. That is what I ask, and you respect my wishes. So, then I believe that brings us to the end of our meeting. Which is good. I was expecting a lot more fumbles on my end.
Me as well, so.
So then, the last thing that we need to discuss is what all of you want from us. Should you want anything made, crafted, created, or should you need anything on the continuation of your journey, you will have it from us. And we will begin the process of making weapons and armor for those that fight for your cause.
Thank you. And she'll first look to Ajax, who just had his sword broken into bits. I think you need something.
I do have A question. We plan on fighting very soon. And you said you would be able to create weapons and armor for our army. How fast could we expect that?
Well, the creation of armor and weapons for an army of, say, 5,000 would take us a week. And we could continue that process until all that fight for you are armed and armored. If more than that is needed, those individuals that you find most trusted among your collective, those that you wish to be captains and generals, we can provide our own artifacts for them to use. Those, of course, would need to be returned after the fighting is done, but we would give them to those that you can trust the most.
And how would we receive them?
Those individuals would need to speak with me first. And if I believe in their character, I will give them what weapon I think suits them best. I won't be transporting or sending anything. They'll need to come to me first.
And the weapons and armor?
The weapons and army, that can be shipped. Wherever you wish them to go, I will make sure that Vondor sends them to the correct city. Whether it be Periton, Maester, or otherwise, you will receive them. There are more permanent ways of travel we can open between our city here and whichever city of your choice. The underways is quick, when permanent travel is not readily available.
I understand.
Cecily, you seem to be an individual that has a strong connection with magic, is that true?
It is.
What I will do is I will have one of our mages speak with you and give you the necessary components and devices to create a constant and efficient teleportation circle within a city of your choice that connects directly to the realm gate within the city here. So you may freely travel from here to that city, and our shipments may arrive without harm being brought about them. Is that something you believe you could handle?
I've done harder. I think so.
You can see there's a small smile of admiration and a little bit of recognition there, where it seems as though he recognizes a similar characteristic in you that he's seen before.
She will also take a small step forward, or scoot her seat. Are we sitting? Whichever.
No, you guys are standing in front of him.
Okay. But she'll take a small step forward. I do have a question. Once you use a soul to make a weapon, that's it, right? It's not going to go anywhere else.
It can never leave the weapon. Our weapons have never been broken before. We've never had the opportunity to put one back in the crucible and see what happens, but I would assume that not even that forge could break apart one of those weapons. They are indestructible.
Yeah, she'll She'll glance over at Bianca and the lantern containing Tyr. As she just kind of processes that, and that would be kind of a fork in the road, whichever way they choose to go with that. But she'll just nod to Borelli.
Oh, good.
No, go on.
I would hate to ask, and now that conversations about, well, war are somewhat over, on the way here, I did lose my weapon. Broken by your smith's fine craftsmanship. If you have any spare great swords or lances, javelins, spears, I'd be thankful.
You see him nod.
I see that.
Well, actually, wait. Did you leave just the hilt of the sword behind, or did you leave the sheath as well?
I left the sword in the sheath in the room.
Okay.
Didn't feel it was necessary to carry a broken blade around.
You said your weapon was broken. Do any pieces remain of it?
Very little, but yes.
Give it to Vondor. Myself and Forge Master Douche. We will make you something of the warrior you seem to be.
I appreciate that.
Plus, most of our weapons are meant for dwarves, not Leonin.
I also feel like I should be transparent about the soul that is in this lantern, and she'll take out or bring forward the Isin one. I'm not sure. I trust you all a lot, and that's why I'm gonna give this to you no matter what. But I don't know if you've ever worked with a soul like this before. If you're familiar with Isin at all, this would be his. I don't want it in this lantern. I want it gone or trapped or somewhere where the Dark One could never regenerate this ever again. I have a sword that is connected with the Valkyrie for the Raven Queen, so I don't really need a new one. Or if you want to put it in Ajax's, or whatever you all feel is fit for this to go, I trust you. This soul is, something's got to happen to it.
You would be willing to sacrifice that soul for someone else's weapon?
If it meant that this would be no more than yes.
When you give Vondor the hilt, give him the lantern as well. And you, Ajax, you will be the first to learn the ways of smithing of our people. With a soul that powerful, we'll need to bond the weapon to you from its creation.
Ajax bows deeply and says, "Thank you."
He nods in return. All right.
The only other soul that I may, we'll get there in a bit, but I may want to put some soul in some armor, so I may be joining that as well. You can see like she's getting less professional. What's the word for it? Diplomatic? And she's getting more awkward, and she's just like, maybe some armor with a soul. We'll see. I don't know yet.
There is no rush. I can tell that whatever soul you speak in reference to must be one you care deeply about. Know that if the soul is not directly contained in some device like these lanterns, the creation will be more difficult, but is still possible. If that's something you wish to do, we will make it happen for you. But just know that when the soul is put into an item, when it's created, that soul cannot get out. It is there forever. Which means the soul can never be returned to a physical form.
Is it considered at rest, though?
The souls of our people are. And I can think of no sweeter thing than to be there for the ones that I love and care about, to protect them, whether I be a breastplate, a shield, or a sword, to keep them safe for all time is the sweetest rest I can think of.
She'll nod.
There's perhaps one other thing. I'm unsure if it is something you'd be able to help with exactly. But I fear I wouldn't come across smiths that would be nearly as qualified, I suppose, as you all are. I've come across a dagger that has been cursed by an enraged soul. It's not something, obviously, from your crucible, and certainly not the work of your people, but I figure with your experience, with your knowledge of both weapons and, well, souls as well, if there's any aid you could give me. I'm not asking for it to be vanquished out of the weapon. It doesn't seem entirely kind to do so. But in perhaps finding a way to quell the vengeance that is built in it.
I've heard of such items. They have come across our path before. Some are more malevolent than others. Do you have the dagger with you?
I do.
May I
She'll
see it?
take it out of her pocket. Yeah, she'll present it to him.
Thank
Oh,
you.
but she can't get rid of. She can't let go of it, because she'll hold on to it, but kind of hold it out.
He kind of nods. He grabs it, and he can see that you're not letting go, and he has a nod of recognition.
I do believe the best way to help this soul is to free it. Perhaps if you're there, you can redirect its energy to something more positive. Vengeance, in the way that it sees it, is something it demands. It's something that fuels it. But vengeance should never be your primary motive. Perhaps if we break the dagger, release the soul, you can speak to it on a more even field, and it may be more inclined to listen to what you have to say.
Still nod. Suppose it is something that's worth trying.
Very well. Then it seems as though you and Ajax both shall at least see, experience, and in part learn the ways of the Crucible. So, is there anything else you wish to discuss?
I think at this time that is everything that we initially wanted to talk about, but I'm sure there'll be more at some point.
Very well. Should you wish to speak again, I am here most of the time. Periodically I do go to the forge and commune and work. But if you ever need me, Vondor knows where to find me.
Thank you again.
Well, of course, and thank you for taking the dangerous journey to be here, and thank you for the hard work you've done to help the people that currently live within the realm that all of you share with them.
And you can see with that, he does proceed to stand. And unless there's anything else, he will walk back. There's a small set of double archways on each side of the hearth that was behind him, and he'll start to walk back that way unless anybody else has anything they want to say before he leaves. Yeah.
What?
So as he
my God.
stands up,
Cecily
Use your
would.
words, Cecily.
She doesn't say well, but that was just me. My charisma's not as high as her, surprisingly. But she kind of wants to have a one-on-one with him if possible. I don't know what the politics are there. If she like gets too close to him and everybody's like whoa, but yeah, she wants to just kind of ask him something kind of private when he has a moment.
Yeah. I would say that as he stands up and the rest of the party is getting ready to leave, you can all see that Cecily probably wants to have a bit more of a private conversation with him, and that's something that obviously the king, he's not nervous about. So unless there's anything else anybody wants to say to him, could easily start to head out of the throne room. As Vondor begins to walk out with you.
Yeah, I'll let anybody else go first if they want to.
Ajax is just going to get the hilt of the sword.
Okay.
Bianca's just gonna go with Ajax.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can leave.
Okay. All right. Cool. Everybody else leaves.
Here, take this.
So, yeah, she'll kind of delicately approach him. And kind of meet his gaze. Did you know Tyr?
I knew of him. That is true. I never had the pleasure of meeting the man. My interactions were with Odin, and I have met Baldur before. But that is it.
That, Odin guy might be giving Tyr and me a bad rap, to put it lightly. I don't know much about him. I'm trying to figure out, because we need to figure out what to do with that other lantern.
What I can tell you about what I know of him. Many people speak of how he was kind and just, which I'm sure there's no doubt to that. But I saw and heard a very different side of the Aesir. Tyr was considered god of war, not in a ceremonious way. He was known as the god of war because of his ability not just to lead, but to fight. I've heard tell of what he was able to accomplish. I'm sure kind and just is fair. But a warrior is probably a more accurate representation of what he was.
I want to get that lantern back to him. I want to figure out how to make him right again. He's just sitting in a garden right now, every day. Doesn't really know who he is. But I felt something I haven't felt in a long time when I was talking to him. It was one of the only times ever that I didn't doubt someone. That I didn't think they were hiding something or tricking me or something. Odin wants to keep that from happening. So, I guess I need to decide if it's worth it to fight against time and his whole family to get it to him first. Or to deal with it now. We were able to go very far in those underways. Is there any way to get to him?
It is possible. The only part that's dangerous is traversing under the ocean. As if shadow falls over and the sun is blocked, there's no way to exit, there's no ground to break. Possible, yes. There may be another way. In the underways, I do know that Laufey herself is strong with traversal magic. Perhaps I could send one of my more capable warriors through the underways to Loshar. If you know exactly where Laufey is, the same magic that we'll give you, they could give to her. That way not only do you have easy access to us, but you can access them as well. And it may take time, a week or so, but it's possible. It could be done.
She kind of takes a heavy breath and thinks about it for a moment. I'll have to talk to the Queen. See what she says.
If I could offer one piece of advice to you, judging from the way she looks to all of you, it's not a queen you're going to talk to. It's your friends you're going to talk to. She seems much like me, in the fact that if she could give up that title, she would. I know you meant no harm by it. Sure you meant it in jest, but there's a look in her. She's one of the good ones, but I'm sure you already know that.
I do. I knew it before she had a fancy title, too.
Good. Well, take your time, think about what you want to do. Talk with your friends, your companions. And next we speak, if you know, you can tell me.
Alright, she will nod to him and find her way out.
Okay. You exit out of the throne room, headed back towards the rooms, where you can see that just at that moment, Ajax has handed off the hilt, and Bianca has given the lantern as Vondor is walking away. He nods to you as he passes, as you reunite with your companions.
Alright, so, yeah, she'll have a conversation with Bianca privately pending and with the whole group pending. But if somebody else wants to do a thing first. Man.
Ajax, when he's handing over the sword, no.
Did John cut out for all of you?
Oh no, did I?
I just heard now.
Oh
Yeah,
no.
me too.
Okay.
Okay, okay.
He hands the sword over and says, "So, does the process of building the weapon start now?"
It will take a few hours to prepare the Eidolon. It is very rare that we ever make weapons there. It's not dangerous, it is just consuming for the Forge Master. He needs time to prepare the necessary ingredients and materials. But when he is ready, you will begin to hear the soul song he sings. When you hear the song, approach the crucible. And If I'm being entirely honest about the process, it is a learn by doing.
Very well. I do have a question. My blade, well, what's left of it, it had a very special ability. It was able to use a magic known as balefire. Is that a possibility with the new weapon?
We can make sure that it is done. However, I cannot promise you what form the weapon will take.
Very well.
But that, at least, if it was part of the original, will be part of its new iteration.
Well, I will listen for the song.
Good.
Thank you again.
With that, Vondar will nod and he'll start to walk away. As Vondar's walking away, you all can see Cecily begin to approach.
Well, that leaves, of the things that we came here for, one final one.
Which is?
The one resurrection that we get to have.
Right.
Like I said, this is not a choice that is possible for me to make. So I'm putting it in. Sorry, this is me being selfish. I'm putting it in your hands because I just can't do it. And like I said, I understand whatever choice you make. But I cannot.
I knew Keothi very little. But when I did, it's a hard decision for me to make as well. I knew your mother much longer than Keothi.
Bianca, I know you talked about it like it was already said and done last time, but whatever the practical choice is, or the right choice is, if you want to call it that, if that was my mom, I would do whatever I had to do to bring her back in a heartbeat. And no offense, but I wouldn't ask any of you for permission. You can give this decision to us if you want, but I'm not gonna feel good about taking that chance away from you.
Thank you, Cecily.
Naturally, I think it's a choice no one should have to make. No one should want to make it in the first place, at least. But from, at least, what I was hearing from what you were saying to the king in there, I can't help but feel you've already made somewhat of a decision, Bianca. And as with the others, I'm open to either choice. think I've already had enough of a hand in trying to change who lives and dies. And so, with whatever we move forward with, there is no wrong choice. It's not giving up on the other. In both ways, we'll still have them with us.
You're exactly right, Carousel, and that's why this is something I just selfishly don't want to be a part of the decision. There is no wrong choice. I thank you, Cecily, but there's a lot of conflict in me. In the first place, if I were to bring back my mother and weigh in on that decision, there's conflict in me to not make the decision. There's conflict in me to bring back Hyothi. I mean, this is also Suni's family we're talking about. It's not just me, my family. It's not fair. No one else got to make this choice. No one gets to. And God knows, following the Raven Queen, it's already against bringing back people. The dead should be dead. So I'm not gonna make the decision. I just can't.
We do not need to make the decision now. We have time. I think we should take one thing at a time. There's a lot going on, and a lot on our plate.
I have something else. As long as we're all here. The king told me that there might be a way, maybe, that they can set up teleportation between here and where Lao Fei is, up in Loshar. It would take a while if it even works, but if they pulled it off, we'd have a quicker way of getting to Tyr than any of the other Odinsons. And she'll look kind of more directly at Bianca as she says, I say we do it anyway just to have more communication with people that don't want us dead. But if it does work, I would much rather get that soul back to him than give myself one more sentimental piece of metal to look after. Maybe people are meant to die, but not him. Not yet. He isn't dead. And I don't want to act like he is.
You're right, he isn't dead. He never died. And I think we should. Not just for the practical reason you mentioned, but because we should. It's a lost soul belonging to someone. It's really terrible and tragic what Odin did to him in the first place, to all of you, and it's a step to heal. And I think that's important.
How long did the king say that set up this communication, this teleportation?
At least a week. And he kept saying it's possible. So, you know, prepare for the worst, hope for the best, as they used to say in the orphanage. A very subtle way of saying, you're not getting dinner tonight. Anyway.
Well, we have time. Them working on that connection does not impede on what we have in motion here. So to take the chance really doesn't hinder anything. And I mean, we'll be building our own connection. I'm probably in Maester, I assume we would do that teleportation circle so that we could have easy access back and forth, since that's where we'll need the supplies and that's where we'll be for the most part. So let's say this whole siege takes a week. Bot back here, and there we go.
I was going to say, if it will take a week, we should try to have them set up this connection now. But I do not think we'll be able to do it before we have to start fighting in Maester.
I think you're right.
We can leave the soul here if that makes you feel better. Safer here than on the battlefield.
Maybe.
Do you think that you could talk to the king if you decide to leave it here? And if we are not returned in a week's time? Or around that they can traverse the connection and give it here?
Yeah, prepare for the worst.
Yes.
I can tell him. The safest place for that lantern is wherever Odin doesn't think it is. Last place Thor saw it is your hip, so I say we move it.
And this place is not easy to get to.
I'm sure he has his ways. One of them
Whatever
might
you
be-
feel is best.
Is Balder in the room, by the way? No big deal if he is, but is he in the room?
He would have been, but if you guys didn't want him there, he would have respected those wishes. He's just kind of being a silent observer because until the mentioning of Odin, he really had nothing to do with this conversation.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, she'll not say out loud, but she's kind of thinking, like, maybe he shouldn't know where we put it. Just in case. 'Cause, like, even if he is totally on our side, you know, maybe it gets beat out of him or something.
Did we get the implications from the conversation with the king, or I don't know if that's the right word, that the Odinsons, like Baldur, Thor, Odin, all them, they know how to get here?
Odin has
That's a
been
good
here
point.
before, but King Borelli also said that he cut off realm travel. Like, Odin
Right.
isn't able to get here
Okay.
now. Same,
Right.
Okay.
same as
'Cause
how
we're-
Ivan is not able
right.
to get here.
We're the first outsiders here in hundreds of years, right?
Mhm.
900
Oh.
and something years or something.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's a pretty good bet. I mean,
I'm like, I feel like this is safer than anywhere else, but
Yeah,
whatever
if we
still
die-
thinks
like
is
watches
best.
people, like
If
they
we di-
definitely notice the Odisons are coming.
exactly. I think a guy that knows every spell in the world could get here if he wanted to, but at the same time, it's still safer than with a group of level 10s.
Yeah, I mean, if we die on the battlefield, that lantern is just on our corpse.
Yeah, just
Magic
some random,
sprays.
some
The soul
demon
leaks
just
out.
finds it. Ooh,
Ugh.
new torture companion. But yeah, I think she'd agree to that, Bianca. That
Okay,
this
cool.
is this is a safe place for it. So she'll even if Bianca's okay with it, she'll take it at some
Oh,
point
yeah.
later today and
Well,
bring it
Bianca
to
will
the...
hand it to Cecily now.
Yeah, and she can bring it to the king herself and tell him all the plans and the worst case scenario stuff and then get teleportation things from him.
Yeah.
Dwarven chalk or whatever the fuck it's gonna be. But yeah, that was her 2 pending conversations have happened now. So sweet.
The good thing is that we will be supplied with armor and weapons for the army. It seems that we are getting ready for a pretty good fight in Maester, and it seems that we are actually ready for it at this point. More or
Much
less.
different than Periton.
Yes.
Let's hope.
The last time I checked, we have around maybe 700 strong. Which isn't a lot, but it's enough.
We have some members of the Brotherhood and members of the Golden Heart, right? That's what they were called. I keep wanting to call them the Golden Shields. Okay, Golden Heart. We have members of the Golden Heart that will be meeting us in Maester as well. Not sure the numbers at all, because they were just ascending and very brief, but that should be helpful. All right, were you counting 700, including the basilisks as well?
I was gonna ask Joe where the Golden Heart, the other one she just said, is that all in consideration?
Yeah, it's a. I mean, obviously you don't know the exact numbers, but Ajax is familiar enough with like militaristic organizations from his background and his experiences that you would know you're probably playing with 700 to 850, depending on what enrollment is like in these various groups.
Oh, so that encompasses everything. Okay.
That is everything that you guys currently have.
Ajax. Also, just really quick, the last time, so we were in Periton.
Mhm.
We were doing all our things and trying to get the arboreals over to the other place.
Yep.
And we talked to the. Did we talk to the command, or we got a message from the captain of the guard or the commander over in Maester? I forget exactly. What it was.
Yeah. So you got a letter from Lord Commander and High Arthan of the Order of the All-Seeing. So the person who is in charge of the person in charge of the Crown Keepers,
Gotcha.
and the person who is like the current like headmaster of training the Jedi. You know, the Order of the All-Seeing.
Okay.
So,
So we didn't even speak to like the commander of the guard there, or the captain of the guard, or anything like that.
in Periton, it was the captain of the Crown Keepers who was like in charge there,
Okay, in Maester.
which
right?
was Ainwyn,
Okay.
the woman you
So-
had talked to, who wanted to have control over the city.
Okay. In Maester, did we get any information about like how far forward that frost is and like how much time we have until there's an attack on them, or like an offensive that needs to be made?
You do know that Maester is always under attack by some
Right.
type of either icy, demonic, fiendish creature or just elementals in general, where the western side of the city is battered and caked in ice and snow. It even in the letter it went as far as to say that snow is currently burying the homeless that live in the streets from how much snowfall there is. And just to be clear, it is spring right now, so it is
Is Bianca still icy?
here no. And
But
in
had she
Periton,
been?
in Periton, not really. After cleansing the
Oh,
sort of
okay.
shadow, you felt better. But Bianca, you're pretty confident the closer you get to Damara's Keep, the worse it's going to get.
Okay, so it got better, wasn't gone, but it's gonna get worse.
Mhm.
Cool.
But the ice and snow and stuff was getting worse from what we heard already.
Yeah. It was getting
Okay.
stronger coming from the west.
Ajax is going to say, "Oh, other thing. Sorry. Does Ajax know how long it will take the basilisks to get to Maester?
They would probably end up taking boats because that's the fastest way to get down there. Maybe a week.
Okay.
Yeah, it'd be the same amount of travel for all of you if you guys take a boat. It's maybe a week and a half, 2 weeks by foot. Yeah, the Goliaths were also heading there.
Okay. So, Ajax will say, I think that we have about a week to get to Maester. It'll probably take most of all a single day, if not 2, to come up with a battle plan for us to attack. And that's on top of defending the city at the same time. So, roughly, and he looks to Bianca and says, as your master of war and defense, we need to be in Maester within the week.
I agree. I almost think we should be there as soon as possible so we can actually start preparing. I don't want this to be a last minute prep like last time. I'd even like to get to know the faces of people before maybe I lose them.
Is there a way that we can send word to Maester to start preparing, start training, let them know that we will be having more armor and weapons going their way?
Yakko looks at Carasilla.
Yeah, I mean, would sending work if we don't know the person, we've just got a letter from them? That feels like it's a bit of a stretch.
Yeah, that is.
Might have to just do it the non-magical way with a pigeon.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, they sent a letter to us from here to Periton.
Oh.
Yep.
Yeah, we could just look at the return address and
If
send it back.
if we cannot send to them, we can talk to the king about setting up a teleportation.
Yeah, well, we'll set up. So we have to travel through the undergrounds, and then we can do the teleportation circle that Cecily will set down, and then we can go back and forth. And actually, we do really need to get there sooner than later so they can actually start sending the supplies,
Yes.
not the day of. So I want to say we got like a day or 2 here, and then we gotta go.
I was going to say I would like to retract my remark about being there within the week. We should probably get things done here as quick as possible and go.
Well, then I should talk to the king now. First thing, she'll turn to Carasilla. Borelli said it would be a lot easier if we knew exactly where Laufey was. I know we mostly know, but just so we're not guessing, you could send a message to her, let her know what we're planning on. Pretend that was worded like a question. Sorry, I'm working on that.
As a fun note, because I was like, okay, how many spell slots do I even have left? I'm gonna have to use a 5th level spell slot.
Hey, we're gonna
That's
rest
just a funny
soon,
note.
right?
It's gonna be so sent.
Do you get more words, or are they just like italicized?
I wish I got more. Yeah, it's like,
They're written in
Bold,
cursive.
all caps.
yeah, they're like audibly cursive. Yeah, I fucking love that. Like gold
Gouty.
filigree.
They're in Gouty
Really
Stout
funny.
font. Hello!
That's certainly something a bit more achievable with the magic. Though, because wait, hold on. But we already know where she is, though, right?
Yeah,
Oh, this
Cecily
is
just
called
wants to be
Hidden
extra
Valley.
sure. Yeah, because like
Um,
if she's moved at all, I don't want to waste their time.
yeah, okay, that's fair. Okay then. So yeah, she'll pass sending unless Cecily wanted to talk to her herself.
Nah, she knows you are better at words, so she'll better than me too apparently. But she'll
Mhm.
yeah, just let you. Yeah, let her know the gist that we're alive and we're gonna set up a teleporty thingy with dwarf dudes.
I hate having to count by myself. So I always pre-write everything that I do. So fun fact. But yeah, she'll cast sending. Updating, we are alive and well. We have Tyr's soul. And would like to be able... Fuck.
We would what?
To... the fuck wasn't that? Anyway. I've got it on a counter, by the way, so this is legit. Sorry. To return it to him. Is there a clear place? There we go, that's 25.
Okay. The message is sent and received successfully, and Lao Fei will respond. Because just to double check, you did say with these dwarves, with King Borelli.
Oh shit, she totally did, but she could totally do another sending if it really needs to come down to that. But yeah.
Okay, all right, cool. We'll say that you incorporated into your original message all the words there. Okay.
Yeah.
Just
Either way, I still got another slot. It's fine.
brevity is what we're interested in here. She does respond. She says, King Borelli should know of the halls of Lo. That is where he needs to send a traveler. We will be on the lookout for those emerging from the underways. We look forward to reuniting Tyr with his soul when the time is right. Thank you.
Yeah, she'll relay that. Well, suppose it should be simple enough then.
Halls of Low. Okay. So yeah, Cecily will, whenever the conversation has come to a close, go to him and do all that stuff real quick. Just tell him, A, hide this where you hide the most precious things ever, and then hide it more. And B, you need to go make the teleportation circle at the Halls of Low. That's where you need to hit.
And yeah, King Borelli would put it in the vaults of his people. So like where the very, very, very dangerous or rare or powerful magical devices and items go that only King Borelli can get into willingly. It's not something he can do unwillingly. So it is as safe as it can be.
Wow. It's fucking in the rocks.
It is.
All right.
In the rocks, under the rocks. Let's go.
Yeah.
It is a rock. Blended in.
Not the bird, though.
Not the bird, like the stone.
Well, maybe the rock is shaped like a rock.
Okay. Anyway,
Maybe.
so it's
But
safe.
not the bird.
He knows where the halls of Lo are. At least he has an approximation of it. He will send a soldier there with the device and with the proper ingredients and components, and we'll send them off immediately so that way they can start heading towards Loshar in that area now.
Nice. Backstory
Nice.
quest advanced plus 5 XP, right? Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Alright. That's all our things. I'm done.
Okay.
Ajax is listening for singing, but like better singing or something.
Yep, nothing yet.
Damn it. Ajax listens again.
Nothing yet. Alrighty. So you handle those things. Is there anything else you want to do within the city itself? Before or until just waiting until the song is heard from the crucible to go do the thing with the weapon.
Ajax is gonna tell the party. Does anyone want to join me at the tavern? It is.
Oh, I'll come with.
I'm curious what they eat here. Not gonna lie. I'm gonna check it out in a non-judgmental way.
Maybe
just
it's rock
will-
candy.
Rock candy from Summer's Rest was really good. I'll go.
Alright. Suni.
Yeah, sure. I'm feeling hungry. I'll get a bite to eat.
Try them again and
You know,
sound like
no,
a human
no,
or
don't
dragon,
try.
I guess.
That's, the thing is, I
think
absolutely
it's pretty accurate.
believe Suni would say that.
Yeah. Fuck you.
Yeah,
I'm right.
Sure. I'll
I'm
get
right.
a bite.
That's totally
I've
something he
consumed
would say.
food before.
I'll be honest.
I'm totally Suni.
Oh, good God. I'm
I'll
glad
be
I
honest.
asked.
I just want to be near the crucible when the song goes off.
Oh my god.
When the song goes off.
When he
Adorable.
starts playing his boombox or something, I don't know.
When the
When
beat
he-
drops.
When he hits the play button.
Okay.
When we get to the tavern, because we're totally going there and eating rock candy,
Mhm.
unless Joe, you have something else to do, Bianca has conversations she could have.
Do you want to have those on the way there or when you get to the tavern? Oh, weren't
is
expecting a
something happening
question.
at the tavern? Oh, no, I wasn't. Oh my
I don't know.
God.
There's a reason I asked the question.
Okay, fine. I'll just do one of the conversations on the way to the tavern, and then
Okay.
we'll figure out the other one later. Okay.
Okay. All right.
Walking with Casserole. She's.
I assume you meant Carasilla, but that could also be a bastardization of Cecily.
No,
Okay.
Carousel.
I don't know why I heard casserole and I assumed Suni. I don't know. I don't know why.
It
Suni!
definitely wasn't Ajax. I know that.
Yeah, it definitely was not a.
No,
Too
Carasilla.
ambiguous. Try again.
Sorry. Okay. She'll be walking with Carasilla. And she will say, "So how trippy was it seeing Morwen? But not Morwen. But also Morwen."
Was uncomfortable to say the least, although, I don't know, I feel like I can still tell the difference. I feel like he stands too tall. One has
No.
been slashed to her. I don't know if you've noticed.
Yeah, I'm sure. It was quite shocking, though. So,
So they didn't appreciate the parts where he was being beaten to a pulp.
I mean, felt like Morwen. Morwen could take it, but
True, I'd prefer she didn't, though.
yeah. But I don't know. I've been thinking a lot about you and Morwin and us, all of us, and also the question that I had presented to you about being the part of the court. And I completely understand why that's not something that you would feel called to. Morwin and Children of the Flame and being a Gleeman, that's a huge part of who you are. And in a way now, it almost feels kind of goofy that I asked. But I don't know. I still feel like there's a title for you. Maybe not part of the court, but something to give you weight. And I know you're for the people, as am I. And not just my people, but people everywhere in Bromsgrove and across the sea in Odero and above us in Iberion, everywhere. And so I guess I was just thinking about something that may suit you better, that gives you that freedom, but also that global scale weight that could maybe help with maybe when we have to bargain with people or talk to those lords and ladies. Hopefully, this may interest you. I was doing some digging around and I learned of this person called a Master of Secrets. Their history came from being a citizen, somebody who was just in normal day society and wanted to help their community out, raising the ranks a little bit, getting to know some of the higher ups, getting closer to royalty, and they may be known as many other titles, but who they were was always for the people. They were the Master of Secrets, not only just being ambiguous in the courtrooms, but also with the people. No one really knew who they were, but there were tales of this so-called Master of Secrets. I heard about it in some old Tarkir tales. It almost sounds like a legend or a fable. I wasn't
Cool.
sure if you would be interested in being this fable. Something that people could call you, or you could tell the people when they're like, how do we know you will help? You could say maybe you're the Master of Secrets. They can trust you.
Well, I mean, I feel like I said before, I want to be able to help you in every way I can. And, well, I must say, I feel as though I have less of a want to be a fable, but I do want to make sure that no one else's stories end before they have to. And if this is something that you want, if this will help, as you were saying it will, and you'll still let me go off and do my own thing from time to time, then I, Bianca de Song, will so gratefully accept. Let's do a little photo, okay? With my cloak.
Well, welcome. And Carousel, you are never tied to me or anything ever. I could never imagine doing that. But I'm excited to have a Master of Secrets around.
I mean,
To
honestly, it's quite the title, isn't it?
It is. And feel free to, since it is a pretty flexible title, make it whatever you want it to be. I think there's a lot of versatility in being somebody so ambiguous. And not that many people are familiar with what a Master of Secrets does. So,
Well, you'd think that'd kind of be in the territory, right?
exactly. I'm excited to see what you can do with that. I'm glad you're interested, and I'm glad you accepted.
Well, like I said, I feel like with what you've been doing so far, I feel like what's going to happen with Bella Clara and Futures, it's only going to be in the best of hands. And if I'm able to help that in any way that I can, then that's something I want. I think people down here have gone through enough.
They definitely have. A change is so necessary, and it's funny. I've wanted that for such a long time in my life, but I had never imagined being this kind of catalyst for that change. But thank you for your help that you've already given. I don't think you truly comprehend or understand how much you've provided for me during this time, because I've been leaning on you a lot.
And I appreciate it. I'm always here to lean on.
And she'll like take her hand in hers and like lean her head on her shoulder without stabbing her in the face with her horns.
Oh my god. Yeah. She'll kind of like reciprocate it, like kind of put her head on hers, you know, avoiding the horns, obviously. But yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Otherwise, just continue to tavern.
Yeah, that's all I had.
And with that, all of you approach the tavern. As you enter, you are confronted with a couple of things. For one, you notice the smells, as it's the only thing that you can sense before actually entering the building. The smell of roasted, salted meat. The smell of stew, of fresh cooked bread, of drink, of kindling fire, smoke, and wood. Not that one. Not that one, Jonathan.
Jesus.
That's the first thing you notice, is the smells. Upon opening the door that leads into the tavern, there's a couple of things that you notice first, just based off sight. You can see that there are dwarves here. All of them are hardworking individuals. They are whispering over the tables, not in a secretive way, but just being polite to the conversations that happen around them. Not wanting to overspeak or overshadow, and not wanting to disparage the reverence of the music that is happening outside. These people are on a break. They're not working. They spent the past several hours singing as loud as they could, channeling that magic into their weapons and armor and items. Here they speak in quiet tones, soft, polite. All dwarves from different walks of life, all sharing similar physical characteristics, as well as similar notes of fashion, all of them wearing plain, modest clothing. No great jewelry, gaudy armor, or clothes, or jewelry, none of that. It's all very plain, very modest. Except for one thing, one very large thing in this tavern. The tavern itself, as you were approaching, you could see that it's probably a 7 or 8 story tall building. And you can see as to why.
there are so many layers of seating and food and drink. It seems as though most people in this town come here, in the city, come here to get their food. But you can see, in the very center of it all, the masterful centerpiece of this entire tavern isn't a great statue. It isn't a giant cask of ale. It isn't a roasting beast. It is a man, a dwarvish man who sits on a slab of stone. The man himself, you can see, is very, very old, even older than King Borelli. You can see that in his lap there sits some type of stringed instrument that he slowly picks away at, droning out this dull, somber tone. And you can see that draping off of his shoulders, traveling 7 stories up into the air, is this magnificent, multicolored patchwork cloak with fabrics and materials that you have never seen before, many of you. And as he plucks away at this sad, solemn tone, you hear him sing. As he does, this is the song he sings.
The colors of his morning, the darkness of his night, little graves that gave no warning, a sun that brought no light. He saw the whole world breaking, that tortured soul I met, in a prison of his making, the man who must forget. I can still hear the way that he cried for the ones he was missing. I can still hear the way that he cried for the ones he had lost. He felt them in the pattern. He saw them from the past. In dreams he heard them whisper the truth that's in his pain. He caused the whole world's breaking, that tortured soul I met, in a prison of his making, the man who must forget.
And you can see as he finishes, there's no clapping, there's no applause. The people respectfully look up and they nod and they continue to sit and eat in a quiet and respectful manner. As you can see, the old man continues to sing another song and play more music of this sad and somber tone. It isn't cheery, it isn't inciting a ruckus, but it is just neutral and a little somber. As all of you enter, you recognize the tone of this place, and easily enough, all of you follow suit. As you sit at a booth of your choice on any one of the levels, immediately there is somebody that comes over to you, asks what you'd like to eat, and provides it for you free of charge at the request of the king. So any food, most of it is meat-based. Meat and bread is kind of the 2 big things you get here. So with that, as you all sit in the tavern, you eat and you drink, And Carasilla, there is a look of recognition between the two of you as he nods at you, recognizing your cloak. He stops for a moment to give you the respect that you deserve. And then he'll continue on playing. So on that note, as all of you sit down, you begin to eat and begin to plan what's next and what you'd like to do with your remaining time in this city. That is actually where we're going to go ahead and end tonight's session because it is starting to get a little late. So with that, thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I know I did. I will be back next week, next Tuesday. Very excited, very happy. Ajax will get a new weapon. Bianca might be getting something. Carasilla might be getting something. Cecily's getting magic stuff. We're stocking up because everything's about to happen, and I'm very excited for it. So thanks for watching.
Go crazy.
We will be back next week. All right.